Hey guys, hope you are well. So, welcome to the Anime Fictions. This is the story about what if Naruto has swift released the rarest kekkeigenkai. Hope you all will love this whatif. If you did, do subscribe for more awesome whatif. Share with your friends and enjoy them. So let's jump into the first part. Chapter 1. Hidden Leaf in Crisis. October 10th, the night that will be forever carved into the hearts and minds of every citizen of Konohagakure. The citizens of Konoha at first, however, were blissfully unaware of the impending destruction of their homes. The abrupt attack of the nine-tailed demon fox had disrupted the normality and tranquility of this day. The large fox's tails destroyed the village as it thrashed them around. It snarled and roared loudly as more of the village suffered. The shinobi of the Hidden Leaf bravely rushed the fox in the name of protecting their families and homes. As the attack commenced within the village, young shinobi and citizens had already been evacuated to the forest, which overlooked the village. A barrier prevented anyone from getting in, likewise from getting out. However, the fact that the young shinobi couldn't fight alongside their teachers and comrades made them very restless. This is ridiculous. How are we supposed to prove our youthfulness if we are stuck here? Asked a young 16-year-old Might guy. There isn't anything we can do? Said Kakashi with a sigh. The fox growled and slammed its hand on a group of shinobi. Guy's hands were white as he balled it into a fist. Swanda-sama and Jiraiya-sama ordered us to stay here, so that's what we'll do, follow their orders and stay here, surmised Yoba. That's right, he appeared in front of a large group of shinobi. This isn't your fight. This fight is for the current generation of ninjas to fight. If we should all perish, then it'll be your jobs to carry on the will of fire. He gave them the thumbs up, then disappeared again. All we can do is wait for more orders, said Asuma Saratobi. Everyone else all had emotionless looks on their faces. It was a really solemn atmosphere. Whilst observing the carnage before them, a small cry from behind them broke their trances. They all looked at the source, their expressions softening as they observed the young child. Naruto Namikaze, son of the Yellow Flash and the Beneheim of Konoha. Swanda and Jiraiya dropped him off here so they could go fight the Kyuubi. The young boy had yellow pajamas on, adjoining them was a pattern of animals. He had spiky blonde hair and azure eyes, which made him look a lot like Minato. At the moment he was upset, angry and frightened all at the same time. He threw a tantrum when Tsunade and Jiraiya told him that he had to stay here. He proclaimed that he wanted to fight and protect the village. In many ways he was very similar to Kushina at times, however, his personality best matched Minato's. He was a quiet and well-mannered boy, his parents never spoiled him and as such he wasn't a bratty child. His frightened dark azure eyes scanned the burning village as he watched his home be destroyed by the large fox. Kakashi walked over to him, his eyes closed indicating that he was smiling. "Hi there, Naruto-kun," he said. Naruto looked at him and quickly wiped his tears away. "I wasn't crying, okay," he said as he turned his head away and crossed his arms. Kakashi chuckled softly. "I wouldn't worry about your parents and your little brother Naruto, they'll be fine," said Kakashi. He whimpered at the mention of his parents and his unborn little brother. Kakashi looked perplexed and unsure what to do. There, he patted him on the back, unsure on what to do. "Come on, Naruto-chan," said Shizen. She walked up to him and picked him up. He rocked him back and forth to soothe the crying child. "You're hopeless, you know that?" she asked. Kakashi rubbed the back of his head. "Shizen?" asked Kurenai. "Shouldn't you be in the hospital?" she asked. "I did request to be, but Tsunade-sama said that they had enough medics and that my safety was more important," she sighed. "Are my Ka-chan, Tusen going to be okay?" Ka-chan said that she had to be careful because she had my little brother in her tummy, he said. She really couldn't answer that question. After all, they had no idea what was happening at the present time. Nor did she know about the situation in the leaf, well, besides the horrific view. "Naruto-kun, you don't need to worry about your parents. Jiraiya-sama, Swanda-sama and Lord Third are backing them up. So don't worry, your little brother in your Ka-chan's tummy is going to be fine, okay?" He smiled again at the young child as he rubbed the top of his head. Naruto nodded and sniffed as he held onto Shizen tight. Shizen noticed that his grip tightened when the fox roared. "You don't have to be scared of Naruto-chan," said Shizen with a smile. "I'm not scared of the fox," he said. "I'm scared because I can't do anything to help the village," he cried. Hiruzen narrowly avoided a rogue tail. He flipped backward and faced the fox. He swiftly went through some hand signs. "Katan, Karya Enden," he called out as a large stream of fire erupted from his mouth. The stream of fire forced it back a few paces, making it roar. It's holding out as expected, but I never imagined that it would be this strong. He landed next to Sum as the Kyuubi roared again. He summoned his adamant staff again. All right, everyone together, push it out of the village, ordered Sarutobi. Inoichi, coordinating the attack, spoke. Inoichi made a hand sign. He felt myriad ninja minds become connected with his own. All right, let's go, Tsum! He yelled. Tsum and a fellow clansman jumped over the large pack of ninja. Gutsuga! They both exclaimed as they slammed into the sides of the Kyuubi, making it stumble back. Tsum and her fellow clansmen landed on some rubble. Shikaku! She yelled. A shadow traveled from Shikaku's feet and wrapped itself around the Kyuubi, restraining it. The Kyuubi roared in discomfort. He struggled against the shadow, making Shikaku as a bead of sweat ran down his forehead. Now Choza! He exclaimed. Choza in expanded form charged at the Kyuubi. He shoulder tackled the large fox, making it double over several paces in front of the hidden leaf gate. All right, Inoichi! Called Choza. Everyone together, he thought as he made the ram hand sign. All the leaf ninja fired off all manner of blows at the fox. The fox was hit with a barrage of attacks that stunned him and forced him outside of the perimeter of the village. He snarled and thrashed his tails and destroyed some of the forest. This thing is tough, said Anumbu. No matter what, the hidden leaf will not lose. Sarutobi and the other Umbu disappeared in a burst of speed toward the fox to continue the battle. Naruto, I know it's hard, but we're all feeling the same way you are, she told the young child. This is our home and we want to protect it, said Shizen. I think you're very brave and mature for your age for saying that. She kissed him on the forehead, making him blush. A few moments of silence followed until Naruto spoke up. Gigi is really quick, said Naruto as he watched the 9 tails get beat back by the 3rd Hokage's adamant staff. Yeah, he's the strongest of his generation, said Kakashi. Yash, Naruto-kun, do not fret, for we will triumph, said Guy with a thumbs up. You're weird, he giggled, cheering up. Every person in the area struggled not to laugh. Guy cried as his ego was crushed by the 5-year-old. Bachan and the pervy sage aren't as fast, said Naruto as the duo delivered a double uppercut to Kyuubi. How can you tell, Naruto-kun? Asked Kakashi. Tusan said that I have kekka. Kekka. You are a kekkeigenkai, said Kakashi with a chuckle. Yeah, that one, said Naruto. Tusan said that nobody in our family has had one in ages, Naruto explained. Well, he's distracted at least, thought Kakashi. Swanda-chan, Jiraiya-kun, I take it that the birth of Kushina and Minato's newest child didn't go as planned, said Sarutobi. Yes, unfortunately you're right, said Tsunade. There were complications, she sighed. It can't be helped. Our priority is to force the Kyuubi back so it can do no more damage, said the wise leader. Where are Minato and Kushina, are they okay? Asked Hiruzen. Yes, they're alright as far as I know, said Tsunade. Minato arrived with a yellow flash above them. He appeared in front of the Kyuubi with a serious look on his face. He touched Kyuubi's forehead and teleported the both of them outside the village. Where are they? Asked Sarutobi. Over there, said Jiraiya as he pointed outside the village as a large explosion rocked the area. Let's go, said Swanda. The seasoned shinobi disappeared in a burst of speed toward the site, intent on helping the young Kage. Tusen just teleported away, and said Naruto was still in Shizen's arms. How did you know that, Naruto-chan? Asked Shizen. Is it your kekkeigenkai? Asked Kakashi. Yeah, Ka-chan just teleported with him too, said Naruto. That's quite an ability you've got there, said Kakashi. Do you know what it's called? He asked. The Swifty released, he laughed. The Swifty released? Kakashi thought for a second. I think you mean the Swift release, Naruto-kun, he chuckled. Oh yeah, that's what I said, he laughed. I don't know anything about it though, he said. So I guess it has to do with the speed then, said Kakashi. Kakashi and the other teens continued to make conversation with him to keep him distracted, even if none of them felt like talking. The young child was frightened and needed them. 10 miles outside of Konoha. Kushina subdued the large fox with her chakra chains as she looked down at her newborn son, who started crying again. I'm sorry, Rin-chan, did Ka-chan wake you up? Asked as the baby wailed. Minato appeared in front of her in a yellow flash. Kushina-chan, are you alright? He asked. TCH, I'm tougher than you, she grinned. I can't argue with that, he chuckled. Listen, Kushina-chan, I can't let Naruto-chan and Rin-chan grow up without a mother. I can't seal the Kyuubi back into you, otherwise you'll die, so the burden falls to Rin-chan. I have to seal him into Rin-chan. A tear rolled down his face. And Minato, it's a heavy burden to place upon a person, she sobbed. I understand, Kushina, but at the present moment this is the best course of action that we can take. Lord Third, Swanda and Jiraiya-sensei are heading toward us now, he sighed. I want to use the Tekko Fuin to seal the Kyuubi in Rin-chan, he growled. I wish there was another way, but we're running out of time and we don't have any options right now, Kushina, the Kyuubi growled as he finished his sentence. You won't seal me away again, whelp, he roared as went to strike Rin. Sarutobi's adamant staff knocked the Kyuubi back a few paces and Kushina tightened her hold on him. Kushina, Minato, and the 3 older shinobi appeared on the battlefield. The 3 Kage-level shinobi looked down at the small bundle in front of Kushina. He was about to be burdened with a terrible destiny. But if anyone could bear this burden, it was Minato and Kushina's child. Is Naruto-chan, Kushina breathed exhausted. Is he alright? She asked. Don't worry, we dropped him off at the barrier. He's been looking after, reassured Swanda. Kushina breathed a sigh of relief knowing that her eldest was safe. Tsunade ran to her often and placed her hand on her back. Her hand glowed as she used the Shozen Jutsu to heal her wounds. She breathed in as she felt her chakra return. Alright, let's do it, said Jiraiya once Swanda had finished. Minato summoned a small altar and placed his crying newborn son on it. The 4 shinobi shuzened on different sides of the Kyuubi, forming a square. They all went through the necessary hand seals, their palms glowed and they all held out their hands as the Kyuubi struggled against Kushina. Kyuubi looked into Kushina's eyes, he showed fear. I'm sorry, Kuruma, she smiled at him. But you're far too dangerous to roam free, Kyuubi snarled and thrashed against the chains. His eyes looked at Kushina, but he saw Hashirama. No! Not again! He roared again. Together! Tekko Fuin! The 4 shinobi yelled at once as the jutsu was activated. The fox roared one last time until it changed form into a large cloud of chakra. He was then dragged into the seal on Ren's stomach. Kushina placed her hand on her child's stomach. Fuin, she exclaimed as the seal appeared on Ren's stomach. After silence followed for a few moments until Minato collapsed, as did Sarutobi. The young boy wailed even louder somehow, someway, aware of the heavy burden he has been charged with to bear, and only a few hours old. Ren, she stroked her son's head lovingly. Kushina felt her eyes go heavy, her seal being broken and giving birth finally catching up to her, as she fell next to her son exhausted. Tsunade shushined next to her and picked her up. Let's get them to the hospital, Minato nodded as he picked up Sarutobi and Minato. Right, call Kakashi to collect Naruto, said Jiraiya as they both nodded to each other. Swanda managed to grab Rin as well and the 2 ninja disappeared in a burst of speed. A few hours later, Hidden Leaf Hospital. Kakashi carries Naruto into the hospital as the revolving doors open for them. Kakashi held Naruto to his chest, not wanting to expose the young child to the horrors that he looked upon. Kakashi and I, where are we? Asked Naruto. We're at the hospital. Don't you want to see your Ka-chan, Tusan and your new baby brother? They're all resting in the room down the hall, said Kakashi as he let Naruto look up. They're all here, he exclaimed. Yes, Naruto, but this is a hospital and you have to be quiet, scolded Kakashi, making Naruto nod. Kakashi opened the door to see Minato and Kushina on separate beds next to each other. In the middle was a crib with a small bundle wrapped up in a blue blanket. Jiraiya, Tsunade and Hiruzen were sitting on different chairs in the room. Gigi, said Naruto as he wiggled out of Kakashi's embrace and into the old Hokage's. Ho-ho, Naruto-kun, said to the Hokage as he picked him up. Gigi, are Ka-chan and Tusan okay? He asked. Yes, they're both fine. Other than a few scraps and bruises, all they need is a good nap, he said sincerely. Naruto smiled at the old man. Suddenly a small cry could be heard from the crib in between Minato and Kushina. What's that? Asked Naruto. That's your new baby brother Naruto-kun. Would you like to meet Rin? Asked Sarutobi. The young Namikaze nodded his head vigorously. Okay then, the former Kage brought Naruto over to the crib, holding him so he could see into the crib. Hi, I'm your big brother Naruto. Nice to finally meet you, Rin-chan, said Naruto with a smile. The baby stopped crying when he saw Naruto's face. He had violet eyes like his mother and a small tuft of red hair at the top of his head. Rin giggled and held his arm out at Naruto. He grabbed his blonde hair and pulled it. I think he likes Naruto-chan, said Suanda. Naruto-chan, I'm so glad you're okay. Naruto looked up at Minato, who smiled. Tusan, said Naruto. Sarutobi put Naruto down on his bed and Naruto crawled over into his father's hold. Are you and Ka-chan okay? Asked Naruto, concerned and unsure. I wouldn't worry about me, especially not your Ka-chan. You know how tough she is, he chuckled weakly. You should be resting, said Jiraiya. I'm Hokage, I don't need sleep, he laughed. Tusan, you were flashing around so fast. Were you in a battle? He sobbed. That other guy why you were fighting. He wasn't as fast as you, but he knew where you were gonna be. I thought you were in trouble, he said. Minato chuckled. That kekkeigenkai of yours, huh? Said Minato. It's certainly becoming stronger as you get older, Minato chuckled. Naruto closed his eyes as sleep began to overtake him. Yes, sensei, is there a Namake's kekkeigenkai? Asked Kakashi. Don't worry, Kakashi, I'll explain it all later. But for now, I can't keep my eyes open, he chuckled again. The father and son duo fell asleep together and began snoring lightly. They're both asleep, commented Jiraiya. Ah, they're so alike it's ridiculous, chuckled Tsunade. Sometimes, Naruto-kun does have a little temper at times, said Sarutobi. I can already tell you about Rinchan, he's going to be like his mother. Those Uzumaki features are a definite sign, said Jiraiya. Kakashi-kun, spoke Sarutobi. Kakashi looked up, broken out of his stupor. As you know, Minamoto-kun will be extremely busy rebuilding the village, and not to mention that he'll be a new baby, he explained. I want you to take up Naruto's training and teach him to be a shinobi. Kakashi blinked in confusion. Ah, but Sir Umbu, I would love to be the one to teach Naruto, but... Don't worry about Kakashi-kun, Sarutobi smiled. I've reappointed you. I think you'll enjoy the change of pace, it'll be a lot less stressful and you'll get to spend time with him, said Hiruzen. Oh, okay, I'd like that, Sarutobi-sama, said Kakashi with a smile. Chapter 2. I want to be a ninja. Life in the Hidden Leaf had finally begun to settle down after a few months. The people had settled back into everyday life. The happenings of that night on October 10th will always be remembered, however, as per Minato and Kushina's wishes, the truth about Rin Namake's status as a Jinchuriki would be kept secret, and breaking that law was considered an S-class crime and punishable by death. The damage to the village was all but fixable, and no lasting effects from the Kyuubi attack would be forever present in Konohagakure. The academy, Hokage monument and memorial site had luckily remained unscathed. Right now, though, the Namake's household's residents' ears were being damaged pretty heavily. Calm down, Rinchan, it's okay, Ka-chan's here? Soothed Kushina as she rocked the few-week-old baby back and forth in her arms. She was in Ren's room. It had teddy bear wallpaper that adorned the walls. The room was a bright blue. It had a changing table, a crib and a bookshelf. The room was very well set up. Ren's cries began to soften. Ka-chan, is Rinchan okay? He sounds upset and asks Naruto as he poked his head out through the opening in the door. It shocked her. Every time she saw Naruto it shocked her. The likeness between her eldest son and Minato was uncanny. Same hairstyle, same eyes, same nose, same face. The only difference was that Naruto wasn't as shy as Minato was, although he was quiet. However, whenever Naruto did say something he showed maturity above and beyond a 5-year-old child. Oh, Naruto-chan, don't worry about him, he's just testing out his lungs, she smiled. You did the same thing when you were this small, you wouldn't remember, but you were a very noisy baby, she giggled when he shook his head. I wasn't, at least I don't. I thought I was, he thought out loud. Oh, trust me, Naruto-chan, your Ka-chan was there, she sighed. Naruto walked over to her and put his hands on her dress. Are you okay? You look sleepy? He asked. Oh, you're so sweet, she put her hand on his head. But you don't have to worry about me, Naruto-chan, it's just what happens when a new baby arrives, she giggled. Ka-chan, how does a baby arrive? He asked as he looked up at her with innocent blue eyes. Kushina blushed at her son's question. Well, you see, Naruto-chan, you can. She was at a loss for words, she hadn't prepared for this talk. Jiraiya walked past Ren's door and she coughed. Ask your Aji-san, she said. He asked as he looked into the room. Aji-san. Kushina put her hand over his mouth as soon as she remembered just who Jiraiya was and what he was all about. What is Naruto-kun? He asked. Never mind him, Jiraiya, she giggled nervously. He just shrugged and walked on. Naruto grabbed her hand and pushed it away. How come you did that for Ka-chan? He asked. Because it's a surprise, she said. A surprise? Asked Naruto excitedly. Yes, Naruto-chan, a surprise. I'll tell you when you're older, she laughed. Oh, he contemplated this for a few seconds then smiled. Okay, he said. Ka-chan? He asked. She looked at him with a smile. Could you teach me some ninjutsu? He asked. Kushina chuckled. Oh, Naruto-chan, she rubbed the top of his head. Do you want to become a ninja? She asked. Naruto nodded his head furiously. Why do you want to become a ninja? She asked. So I can protect everyone, he said simply. Why? She asked. Why do you ask so many questions? He asked as he cocked his head to the side. Oh, just curious, she smiled. What does that mean? He asked. It means that I wanted to know. Before he was about to open his mouth again, she put her finger to his lips. I wanted to know because I needed you to give me a good reason for me to teach you, she giggled. Of course I'll teach you, Naruto-chan, we can start after lunch if you want. He smiled and hugged her. Thank you, Ka-chan, he said. You're most welcome, my handsome boy. She put Rin down in his crib and wrapped his arms around him. But Naruto-chan, we won't be able to do this often, she said with a frown. A new baby is a lot of work. I promise we'll do this whenever I find time. His expression saddened. Don't worry, Kakashi-kun will come over and he'll help you become a ninja, she laughed when his expression brightened. You and Kakashi and I are going to teach me to be a ninja? He chirped. Yup, she smiled. How about you go and talk to your father? He's in his office, she suggested as Rin began to cry again. Okay, bye-bye Ka-chan, he walked out. Naruto walked through the halls of the Namikaze compound until he reached his father's office door. He knocked on it and waited for a reply. Come in, he heard his father call. Naruto opened the door and was met with his father's smiling face. Although he had to look over the stack of paperwork, it was a strange smile. Oh, Naruto-chan. What a surprise! Naruto walked up to his father, and he lifted him up onto his lap. What is it? He asked. Is your Ka-chan okay? He looked down at his son. Ka-chan, she's okay, she's just sleepy is all, he said. Oh, so what if you want, Naruto-chan? We can play after dinner, he offered. Okay, Tusan, but I. He blushed in embarrassment. I want to be a ninja, so I was wondering. What's the first thing I have to learn? He asked. Oh, so you want to be a ninja like your Ka-chan, I and your grandparents, he chuckled. That's awesome, Naruto-chan, said Minato. Really? He asked. Of course, being a ninja is a hard job. You're very brave for wanting to be a ninja, he said. Naruto blushed again at his father's praise. But to answer your question, Minato swirled around on his chair to the bookshelf behind him. He pulled off a book titled, The Beginner Guide to Becoming a Shinobi. You can read this, said Minato. A book on how to be a ninja? Asked Naruto. Yup, I'm sure your Ka-chan will read it to you if you ask nicely. She might even teach you some cool ninja stuff if you're good, he whispered the last part. Really? He asked with a smile. Why don't you go play in the backyard? I'm sure your eagle friend is missing you, he chuckled. Naruto took the book from his father's hands and hugged him. He hugged his son back and then patted him on the forehead. He then lifted him back down. Off you go now, have fun, he said as he watched his son walk out. Naruto walked out into the backyard of the Namikaze compound, after he put the book back in his room. He was instantly greeted by a small bird who landed on top of his head. Hi there, Talon, he giggled. The eagle chick chirped happily at him. Do you want to play? I bet you can't catch me, he laughed. Not waiting for an answer, he took off, laughing playful. The young chick flew up and began to fly after him. He's so cute, said Tsunade as she watched him play with his friend from the porch on the opposite side of the yard. Well, he was bound to be adorable. Minato was a cute kid. If Naruto's lucky, he'll be as good-looking as his grandfather, he chuckled. Tsunade smirked. I'm just so glad that Minato-chan and Naruto-chan inherited my blonde hair, she chuckled. Your hair makes you look older than you really are, dear. Jiraiya's face turned blue. Tsunadeheim, that hurt, he sighed. I'm not old because you keep me young, he smiled. She giggled and kissed him on the cheek. Good save, she turned back to watch her grandson run around frantically with a smile on his face. It's a shame that he had to witness the Nine-Tails attack, she sighed. He doesn't look all that affected, said Jiraiya. In fact, I was just talking to Kushina, She thinks that Naruto wants to become a ninja now so he can protect what he cares about, he explained. That's a pretty good reason, she said. Well, my reason was a lot better, so I could get all the girls, he giggled. Tsunade's eyebrow twitched. Well, why don't you go and find all those girls? She humped and turned the other way. Tsunade-heim, I was only joking, I never, actually got that many, he said sheepishly. Yeah, I know, but you got the best one, she chuckled and stood up. Where are you going? He asked. To go see my youngest grandson, she said as she walked back inside. Jiraiya sighed and looked out to his grandson. He giggled as he fell over on the grass. He instantly sat up and spat some grass out of his mouth. Okay, you win, now I'll chase you, he laughed as the bird flew away and Naruto chased after him. Alright, Naruto-chan, you ready? Asked Kushina. Naruto and Kushina stood in the backyard together. Yup, Toussaint gave me a book, he said. I couldn't read it all because of all the big words, but I got that I had to turn on my chaha. Your chakra, she finished. Yeah, that, he said. You're very smart because that's what we have to do, she made the ram sign. This is called the ram sign, there are 11 other ones you need to know, she said. 11, that's so much, he said. Wow! He exclaimed. Yup, but don't worry about those, just do this one, she said. Naruto made a crude ram sign, he just couldn't get his fingers to do what he wanted. Kushina smiled and grabbed his hands and corrected the position. You got it, she praised. Now this part one can help you with. A blue aura began to swirl around Kushina. Naruto reached out and touched it. It's warm, isn't it? She asked. He nodded. That's because chakra is the life energy in everything, she explained. Now I want you to look deep inside. Then I want you to draw that energy to the surface. South, close your eyes, he did as he was instructed. Now see if you can find your chakra, you should feel a pull in your belly, she poked his stomach, eliciting a small giggle from the boy. Okay, you got it? She asked. Naruto's eyebrow furrowed and his face began to turn red. Naruto-chan, you aren't supposed to hold your breath, she exclaimed. Naruto breathed in and fell down. I couldn't get it, he said downtrodden. That's because you were focused on holding your breath, try again, she said. And this time, breathe, child, she scolded. He nodded and made the ram sign. Now I want you to look deep inside. Then I want you to draw that energy to the surface, he remembered. Look inside and then I just gotta. Unknown to him, a small blue aura began to swirl around him. Okay, Naruto-chan, that's. Suddenly a burst of chakra came forth from his form. It blew Kushina's long hair back and some stray leaves. He opened his eyes again with a smile. I think I did it that time, he said. He has so much chakra it's ridiculous. I'm glad that he asked me to help him before his reserves got too big for him to control and he struggled to create a bushin, she thought. That's amazing, Naruto-chan, you did it, she praised as she hugged him. He blushed in embarrassment. Ka-chan, I don't feel so good, he began to lose his grip on her dress. Kushina helped him to the ground. It'll pass, she said. He just used a lot of chakra for his age, now wonder he feels a little flat, she thought as she watched her son gain his bearings. That's enough for today's Naruto-chan, she said. Hey Kushina-sama, Naruto-kun, waved Kakashi as he walked into the backyard with a smile behind his mask. Hi Kakashi and I woo, he tried to get up but fell back down. Kakashi chuckled. You alright there, kiddo? He asked. He's fine, just a little frazzled. He activated his chakra for the first time, she explained. That's awesome, Naruto-kun, said Kakashi. Although, judging from the look on your face, I don't think you're up for any training today, he laughed. Not true, he struggled to his feet but immediately fell down. I'm not sleepy, I just can't. You've used up a lot of energy, said Kakashi. That's alright, I can come by another day. He turned around and Kushina coughed. No. There is something I want you to do, said Kushina. I want you to read Naruto-chan, a book that Minato-kun gave him, she said. Sensei? He asked. He gave Naruto a book and you want me to read it to him, he reiterated. Yup, it's in his room, you two have fun, I'll see you both at dinner, she waved as she walked back into the Namikaze compound to check on her baby and Tsunade. Alright Naruto-kun, can you stand? Asked Kakashi, slightly amused. Not very good, he crossed his arms. Ma, Naruto-kun, he waved down. Don't look so frustrated, Kakashi picked him up. I'm not frustrated, he huffed. It's easy to tell when you're lying, said Kakashi as he walked inside. Is not, Naruto argued. Kakashi walked into Naruto's room. Naruto sat down on the bed with his feet dangling over the side. Kakashi picked up the book that Kushina was alluding to in the backyard. The Beginner Guide to Becoming a Shinobi, he read aloud. Chapter 1, Chakra. He looked down at the book. Chakra, or chakura, is the most essential part of the most basic technique. Naruto looked at him with curious eyes as he read on. Through various methods, the most common of which is hand seals, chakra can be controlled and manipulated to create an effect that would not be possible otherwise, such as walking on water, exhaling fire, or creating illusions, he read. Wow, can shinobi do all that? Asked Naruto. Yes, they can with training and many years of experience, explained Kakashi. Naruto nodded and then yawned. Kakashi continued to read on. Chakra is ordinarily not visible to the naked eye unless it is highly concentrated, manipulated by one's own natural element, or manifested in large amounts. Kakashi looked up to see Naruto had a confused look on his face. Don't get it? He asked. Naruto shook his head. Okay, did your Ka-chan show you her chakra? He asked. Naruto nodded in response. And did you see that it was blue? He asked. Yup, it was warm too, he explained. That's because your Ka-chan has a lot of chakra, so you were able to see it. You can't see most ninjas' chakra because they don't have enough. Do you get it now? He asked. Naruto nodded. But what about the element thing? He asked. Don't worry about that, we'll get to that later, said Kakashi. Okay, what's next? Kakashi and I? He yawned. Kakashi smiled. He's about to drop, he thought. He found where he was up to and started reading again. General training methods for improving one's molding and manipulation of chakra are the leaf concentration, tree climbing, and water surface walking exercises. Kakashi finished as he heard a soft snoring. Had enough? He chuckled softly. Kakashi removed his shoes and tucked him into bed. Is he asleep yet? Asked Kushina in the doorway. She had a sleeping baby Rin in her arms. Yeah, he's asleep. Lasted longer than I expected though, he chuckled softly as he looked down at Naruto's sleeping form. So, now that you've seen what his chakras are like, what's your assessment? He asked. It's certainly like an Uzumaki's in terms of stature, she explained. But it's as potent as Minato's and Tsunade's, she said. Meaning? Asked Kakashi. It's very strong, she said. What about the swifty release? He joked. She joined him in chuckling. Yes, well, Minato-kun said that it'll manifest itself when he's older. So we'll just have to wait and see. It's a very rare bloodline. Apparently only 2 other people in the Namikaze clan have been known users. The most prominent was of course Riku Namikaze, the one who fought against Madara Uchiha and Hashirama Senju, explained Kushina. Sounds like it'll be interesting to see how he turns out, said Kakashi. As long as he's happy, she walked over to him and kissed him on the forehead. They both walked out unaware of the smile on Naruto's face. Chapter 3. A Budding Shinobi. So Naruto-chan, how's your leaf balancing exercise coming along? Asked Kakashi as he entered the training field Naruto was currently in. Kakashi and I asked as the leaf atop his head fell to the ground. Well, it was going pretty well, he begrudgingly stated. Easy now, Kakashi laughed. How come the umbu that Ka-chan sent left? He asked. Oh. And how did you know that there was an umbu following you? He asked. Because you have a lot of time, Tusan is way faster, he stated. Oh, so the swifty release, chuckled Kakashi. Naruto's cheeks puffed up in embarrassment. I didn't say that, he crossed his arms. While I was there, he cracked his neck. Well, come on, show me how far you've gotten. Kakashi picked up the leaf and handed it to Naruto. Kakashi watched Naruto balance the leaf on his head. Wow, only a day and you've managed to master it, praised Kakashi. Thanks, Kakashi and I, he smiled. Alright, next exercise, he said with an eye smile. Huh, I thought you were going to teach me a new, he asked as he took the leaf off his forehead. I could do that, but let me explain why these exercises are so important for you. He put his gloved hand on Naruto's shoulder. Listen, Naruto-kun, you and your mother are a lot alike, although everyone can see your sensei's son, he chuckled. You have a lot of chakra for a boy your age, so if I taught you a new one it would take you a lot longer for you to learn it than most children, he explained. Does that mean I'm not good? He asked. No. It'll definitely be a good thing later on. You see, by mastering these exercises you'll be able to control your chakra and you'll be a better ninja for it, explained Kakashi. Don't fret, you only need to master 2 more exercises and then I'll start teaching you some. Naruto's smile beamed at his older brother. Really? You promise? He asked. I promise, he patted him on the head. Alright, the second exercise is the tree climbing practice. Naruto nodded at him, and he continued to explain. It's a training method used to gain more skills with chakra control. This training involves focusing a fixed amount of chakra to the bottom of your feet, and using that to climb a tree without using one's hands. Naruto looked perplexed. I'm not lying, said Kakashi, sensing his question. If the stream of chakra is too weak, you'll lose your footing on the tree and fall off. If it is too strong, you will be pushed away from the tree, causing the tree to break around the point of contact and again you will fall, Kakashi explained. Now you're only 5 so don't hurt yourself, said Kakashi. Naruto nodded at him. Alright, Kakashi channeled chakra to his feet, and he began walking up the small nearby tree. Wow, said Naruto, astonished at the display. When he reached the top he jumped down. Alright, now you try. Remember, just concentrate and you'll be fine, said Kakashi. Naruto did the ram's seal and the bottom of his feet became coated in a blue color. Okay, now to keep it balanced, Naruto began to walk up the tree. Taking it one step at a time he ascended up the tree trunk. Hey, I'm doing it, he giggled as he got higher and higher. Naruto looked down. Amazing, he's already got it, thought Kakashi. Hey Kakashi and I. Look how high I am, Kakashi chuckled. That's awesome, Naruto now walks back down, don't go any higher, he said. Okay, Naruto then carefully walked back down the tree. He jumped back down onto the floor. I did it, he announced. This kid is something else, thought Kakashi. Alright Naruto-chan, last one before the day is up. If you can get this one I'll take you out for ice cream, he winked at him. Ice cream! Exclaimed Naruto. Yup, now come on, Kakashi picked him up and body flickered away. They landed on stones. They were at a secluded hot spring. The hot springs? Why are we here? Asked Naruto. Kakashi put him down. We're here for the next exercise. The last one is called the water walking technique, he explained. Water walking? Asked Naruto. What? You just walked up a tree, I didn't think you'd be so shocked, he shrugged. I'm not, it's just super cool, he said sheepishly as he rubbed the back of his head. To walk on water you'll need to keep a constant stream of chakra from the bottom of your feet, and use the force to walk across the water surface. This technique is more difficult to master than the tree climbing practice, because the amount of chakra that needs to be used changes all the time, he explained. It's kinda the same as the last one, stated Naruto. In many ways yes, but you see. Naruto channeled chakra to his feet and walked onto the water without much trouble. Hey look Kakashi and I, do I get ice cream now? If Kakashi hadn't been wearing a mask Naruto would have seen him gap like a fish. You can't be serious? He thought. Hey, Kakashi and I-san, did I do it right? He asked, standing on the water with a smile on his face. This kid. Amazing, he thought. Yes, that's enough for today Naruto-chan, tomorrow I'll teach you some, he said with a strained chuckle. Oh. Can you teach me Rasengan and Uzumaki? He asked. And who told you about those? He asked with a hint of amusement. Aji-san, he said with a hint of regret. Aho thought as much. Your Ka-chan's sword step and your father's are a bit too advanced for you at the moment, Naruto looked down. But one day, he knelt down. Listen, I'll teach you some that you'll use for the rest of your shinobi career, Naruto nodded. Alright, now, I owe you some ice cream, said Kakashi. Naruto's face instantly brightened at the mention of the tasty treat. Slow down Naruto-kun, chuckled Kakashi. Naruto licked the treat frantically. He and Kakashi sat in a booth together at the ice cream shop. Kakashi had quickly eaten his ice cream. A testament to that was the empty bowl in front of him. Naruto, however, was quick, but not that quick. He had ice cream all over his face. Well, Mr. Hitaki, babysitting I see, Naruto and Kakashi looked up to see you, a young girl with brown hair. She wore a flak jacket. Underneath she wore a purple shirt and the typical ninja mesh. She wore long black pants and open-toed blue shinobi boots. Her hair was tied up in a ponytail, and 2 bangs framed her face. Oh hi there Rin, said Kakashi as he waved to his old teammate. Did you miss me on your last mission? She asked with a hopeful smile. Kakashi blinked at her question. Oh. Kakashi and I has a girlfriend, chanted Naruto. And who's this? Asked Rin. And why did he call you Kakashi and I? Asked Rin. This is my younger brother Naruto. Naruto, he motioned at Rin. This is my old teammate Rin, he stated, introducing the two strangers. It's nice to meet you, Rin-san, said Naruto. Rin smiled and grabbed a napkin. She wiped his face. It's nice to meet you in Naruto-kun, but you don't have to call me San, you can call me Rin if you want, said Rin. Okay, Rin-chan, are you and Kakashi and I boyfriend and girlfriend? Rin blushed at the question. No, we aren't, stated Kakashi. And you really need to rein in on the embarrassing questions because you know exactly what you're doing, scolded Kakashi. Naruto chuckled. Nuhu, see, her face is red like when Yusan smiles at Ka-chan. That means you're boyfriend and girlfriend, stated Naruto. I shouldn't have to explain this to you at your age, Kakashi sighed. You're too smart for your own good sometimes, said Kakashi. Naruto-kun, what's your favorite ice cream flavor? Asked Rin, changing the uncomfortable subject. Bubblegum, he stated excitedly. No way, mine too, said Rin. Really? He asked and she nodded. I bet your favorite color is purple, said Naruto as he pointed to her shirt. Yes, you're very observant for a boy your age, praised Rin. Thank you, Rin-san, said Naruto. Naruto-kun, you have very good manners, but please, you can call me Rin or Rin-chan if you want, she offered. I don't really like all the formal stuff, she smiled. Okay, he smiled. Naruto-kun, are you going to be a shinobi? She asked. Yup. Kakashi and I is already training me, he said with a beaming smile. Oh, Kakashi is, Kakashi rubbed the back of his head nervously. Yup. We just finished today. He said I did good so I got ice cream, he said. So is Kakashi a good teacher? She asked. Well, I guess, he said. What do you mean you guess? Asked Kakashi. Naruto cocked his head to the side. I mean, what do you mean by that, Naruto-kun? He coughed. Well, you're okay, I guess, he shrugged. Kakashi's sweat dropped. You can't use that, that's mine, said Kakashi. Ah, he's so cute, said Rin as she hugged Naruto, making him blush. Ah, Rin. You shouldn't encourage him, said Kakashi as he held his hand out. Come on, Kakashi, you've been doing that to people for years. But when someone used it against you, she giggled as she put Naruto on her lap. A rain cloud appeared over Kakashi's head as he looked down. So Naruto-kun, what have you learned from Kakashi-kun? She asked. I learned, he thought out loud. I learned how to use chakra, the leaf balancing, tree walking and water walking, Rin laughed. What's so funny? Asked Naruto. You're a bad liar, she giggled. He isn't lying, said Kakashi with an eye smile. Not another genius, she smiled. Yes, another genius, Kakashi chuckled. He's a lot like Minato-sensei, said Kakashi. So everything just comes naturally to him, huh? She said as he looked down at the mop of blonde hair underneath her chin. Yeah, he's got a talent for the shinobi arts. That's for sure, Kakashi gave Naruto an eye smile. Naruto blushed at the kind words. Thank you, he said meekly. Ah, you're just too cute, Naruto-kun, squealed Rin. She hugged him, making his head squeeze between her breasts. Ah, Rin-chan, spoke Kakashi. Yeah, she responded with a small blush at the chan suffix that he rarely used. Muffled Naruto as he struggled to breathe. Oh, sorry, Naruto-kun, she pulled him away and he breathed heavily. You okay? She asked. He nodded. Why, yeah, I'm okay, he breathed and then rubbed the back of his head. Good, I'm sorry, she said. That's okay, he smiled. Hey, Rin-chan, can I ask you a question? She looked at him. Of course you can, Naruto-kun, she beamed. What was Kakashi and I like when he was a kid? Kakashi spluttered at the question. Why would you ask that? Kakashi waved his hands. Because I'm curious, he said, remembering his mother's use of wording. So you're curious about Kakashi-kun when he was a kid? Asked Rin. Well, he always calls you San-sensei. If you were on his team, then that means you were around Kakashi and I when he was a little, he said. So what was he like? He asked. Wow, you are smart, she mused. Okay, I'll tell you, she smiled. Ah, Rin, I don't think you should. Now, Kakashi, he did ask nicely, she stated. Well, Kakashi was very crazy about the shinobi rules. He always recited them and told others when they were disobeying them. She smiled. He's always worn that mask, she pointed. And he was mean to everyone, she whispered, making Naruto giggle. Rin, you don't have. He was very talented and smart. He used to always outsmart all the bad ninjas. Kakashi averted his eyes. This also made him very nasty sometimes, and he had a bad attitude, she whispered again. But he was also very kind and sweet when he wanted to be, she giggled when Kakashi sighed. Are you finished torturing me? He asked. I think you've had enough for today. I have a mission anyway. She got up from the booth. It was nice meeting you, Naruto-kun, she smiled. I'll see you around, Mr. Brooder, she giggled and walked away. You had to really look, almost magnify your vision, but Kakashi had the faintest blush on his face. She's nice, said Naruto as he ate more ice cream. Yeah, I guess, he sighed. Come on, now that you've had your ice cream, there's someplace that I want to show you, he said as he got up. Naruto took one last bite and then followed him. Naruto took Kakashi's hand as they walked through the streets of Konohagakure. We're going to visit your grandfather, said Kakashi. Gigi? He asked. Yes, said Kakashi. How come? He asked. Well, I need to ask him about something, and well, you like visiting him, don't you? He asked. Naruto nodded. Good, said Kakashi with a smile. Naruto and Kakashi walked into the Sarutobi Manor without their shoes on. Asuma was out on a mission and Hiruzen sat outside on the porch drinking some. Sarutobi-sama, Kakashi knocked on the inside door. Hiruzen turned around to see Kakashi giving him an eye smile, with Naruto in hand. Sarutobi smiled and gestured for them to come out. Well, isn't this a nice surprise? He got up and hugged Naruto. Hi Gigi, said the young boy politely. Hello to you, Naruto-kun. If I knew you were coming, I would have prepared some sweets. He gave him a grandfatherly smile. That's okay, Kakashi and I went out for ice cream, he smiled. Only because I did okay in the new training, he explained. Did well? You're underselling yourself, kid, thought Kakashi. Oh, that's wonderful, Naruto-kun. What did you learn? He asked. Actually, Lord Third, I'd like to talk to you about that, voiced by Kakashi. Okay then, he turned to Naruto. You can go play in the backyard if you wish, Naruto, as he gestured to the space in front of him. Thank you, Naruto giggled. He bowed, then jumped off the boards and onto the grass. Now what is it that you'd like to discuss? He asked. Kakashi sat down on the opposite side of the table. It's Naruto, sir, he rubbed the back of his head. There's no other way to say this, but he paused. Yes, pushed the former Hokage. Well, he's great, he said with a chuckle. Great? Great as in great at something or a great child? He asked. No, sir, he's great at well today. He mastered every chakra control exercise that most genin can't master. Hiruzen raised an eyebrow. My, it would seem that the Namikaze have a penitence for being gifted, he chuckled. But that hasn't been done, not since Minato-sensei spoke, Kakashi. Well, what else did you expect from Minamoto-kun's child? He asked. Why, you expected him to be talented? Asked Kakashi. Well, I'd say expected would be the wrong word, he said. Naruto-kun is the first child in the Namikaze clan to be born with their swift-release kekkeigenkai in a very long time, he chuckled. I always knew that he was special, he smiled. He's also extremely smart for his age, said Kakashi in wonder. Oh my, yes, he picks things up very quickly, he smiled. Maybe even more so than Minato-kun. He drank some tea. Are you saying that he might be an even greater shinobi than sensei? Asked Kakashi. Well, putting a bet on something like that isn't very smart, he spoke. Minato is a once-in-a-generation prodigy. Don't forget, Kakashi-kun, Naruto is only 5 years old. To put a stake to the claim that he'll surpass his father is impossible at the moment, he said. However, what do you say we test him? Asked Hiruzen. Test? Asked Kakashi. Yes, Naruto-kun also has Uzumaki heritage, he paused. So why not give him some Fuinjutsu to work on as well? He asked. Fuinjutsu is extremely hard to learn. Jiraiya-sama even has to ask Kushina-sama for assistance. Hiruzen chuckled at his comment. Yes, it's extremely hard to learn. Kushina-chan began learning Fuinjutsu at a very young age as well. If Naruto-kun can master some basic seals within a few months, then maybe there might be some merit to the statement that he'll surpass his father, he explained. How would learning Fuinjutsu reinforce that statement? Asked Kakashi. Because Minato-kun came asking me for help with Fuinjutsu at about his age as well. So if they're anything alike, Naruto-kun will take to it like a fish does to water, he smiled. Alright then, thank you for your time, Sarutobi-sama, said Kakashi as he bowed and then stood up. One more thing, Kakashi, said Hiruzen. Yes, sir? He asked. Please take good care of my grandson. Although he does wish to become a shinobi, he has a very kind heart, and it's my wish that he has a normal childhood, said Hiruzen with a grandfatherly smile. Kakashi bowed. I swear on my life, sir, I'll take care of Naruto-kun, said Kakashi. You've made this old soul very happy, he laughed. Naruto at dinner next to his brother at the dinner table. He was in his high chair, and he certainly was a messy eater. Naruto laughed when he saw his face, with a pumpkin all over it. Kushina came over and wiped his face. He shook his head indicating that he did not like it. So Naruto-kun, how was your day with Kakashi? Asked Minato. Well, we trained a little bit then with ice cream. He paused as he ate. Chewing with his mouth closed, he finished and then smiled. Then we visited Gigi and I got to play. He also gave me a scroll. He rubbed the back of his head. He said it's for you. Naruto pulled a scroll out from his pocket and handed it to his father across the dinner table. Minato gently took the scroll from his eldest and looked at it. Once he finished reading, he smiled. Well, it would seem that we have a budding shinobi in the family, said Minato as he smiled at his son. Naruto blushed at the attention he was given by his father. Chapter 4. The Meeting of the Young Geniuses. Hiruzen Sarutobi was right about most things. In his old age he had learned many things and retained a lot of information. Information about people, recently regarding one Naruto Namikaze. Hiruzen had predicted that Naruto would take to Fuinjutsu. Well, Naruto had fallen in love with it to say the least. Kakashi bought him a beginner seal kit, which entailed some paintbrushes, ink and paper. He also bought him a book that showed him how to draw kanji. Minato and Kushina had been very surprised that their son was a genius. However, the pair had their suspicions. Especially Minato, who had tested Naruto a couple of times. Minato had deduced that his eldest could retain information at a very high rate. Also that Naruto was a lot like himself when it came to the shinobi arts. Naruto was progressing at amazing speeds. His mother had trained him in chakra control on numerous occasions. He herself had stated when Naruto was born that, he's going to be like his father. I can already tell, a mother knows. Naruto had also grown a little taller. His hair had also grown out a little. His bangs reached just below his nose now. He wore a mesh shirt underneath a white shirt. He also had a black and white hoodie on, which was slightly opened at the top. He wore tape around his calves and over a pair of black pants. He also wore blue open-toed shinobi shoes. The youngest Namikaze, Rin, had celebrated his first birthday the other week, just after Naruto's 7th birthday. Both birthdays had been small affairs, only close family and family friends. The two brothers were extremely close and Rin knew who exactly his big brother was and would often call out to him when he saw him. Rin would often follow/crawl after Naruto around the house, always chasing after him, afraid of being left out. Unfortunately, he never got very far. Rin had also spoken his first word a few weeks ago, Kaa-chan, much to Kushina's delight. Seeing as Naruto's first word was Tusan, Minato had hoped to go 2 for 2, but he was significantly busier than he was back when Naruto was first born, whilst he was being groomed for being Hokage. Minato spent as much time with his son as possible. Sadly though, he tried his very best to spend time with Rin, but his Hokage duties kept him busy most of the time. Naruto had excelled in his shinobi training. He had mastered all the academy ninjutsu necessary to pass the exam to become a genin. Kakashi was well aware of this. However, Minato had raised the age for the academy, so Kakashi's request for Naruto to enter the academy was denied. Although Minato was aware that Naruto wouldn't have a problem with the requirements to pass, he wanted him to have a normal childhood, and for him to enjoy being a kid. Naruto's taijutsu was also coming along nicely. Kakashi was never adept at this area, but he was competent and taught Naruto the basic leaf kata, in which all genin were taught. However, Naruto had often told him that he didn't like it. As it didn't feel natural, he had learned all the basics despite this. Kakashi had just smiled and told him that one day he'll find a style that'll suit him, and it'll come even more naturally to him than anything he had learned prior. Minato had offered Naruto some scrolls on the Namikaze hummingbird style. However, Naruto had declined his offer, much to his surprise. Naruto had reasoned that he didn't want to become a carbon copy of his father, and that he wanted to forge his own path. Minato had gained a little more respect for his son as shinobi after that conversation. At the moment, though, Naruto was standing with Kakashi at their usual training field, Rin sat on a log observing. She had gotten quite attached to the blonde Namikaze. She found the fact that he was so polite at his age was adorable. To her never-ending delight, he had slipped one day, and instead of the usual san suffix he always used, he had called her Rin Wunchin. From then on, she instead called him that. And so he did. Kakashi and I, why do you have a piece of paper? He asked. Very astute of you, you noticed, Naruto huffed. Now, I was only joking, he handed it to him. It's a special paper called chakra paper, it'll tell us what your element is, he explained. Oh, so then I can start learning elementary? He asked. Yup, to find out, all you need to do is channel your chakra into the paper. What happens will tell us what element you have. If it splits in half, you have a futon element. If it turns into dirt, then you have doton. If the paper becomes soggy, then you have a sueton element. If the paper burns, you have a katon element, and finally, if it crumbles, then you have a riton element, explained Kakashi. Naruto hadn't taken his eyes off the paper. This was his next step that he had to take in his training, to become a splendid shinobi. Alright, let's go, he said as he channeled chakra into the piece of paper. Naruto then dropped the paper and he watched in anticipation. After a few moments, nothing happened. Is there something wrong with the paper? He asked. I guess that means that you don't have an elemental affinity, said Kakashi. I don't? Asked Naruto, crushed. I'm sorry, Naruto, you just have to. The chakra paper was swiftly cut in half. Then the right half burned and the left half crumbled. 3 elements, now things get interesting. I've come to never be surprised by this kid, though, Kakashi with a smile. The number of jutsu that you could potentially learn has just doubled, he grinned as he watched Naruto's shocked expression. Is that good? Asked Naruto. That's amazing, Naruto-kun, I can tell you're going to be very adept at ninjutsu, he chuckled as he patted Naruto on the head in a brotherly way. Alright, I think we'll start with the katon jutsu as I know some basic ones, he rubbed the back of his head. Okay, I'm ready, said Naruto. Alright, I'm going to teach you the katon, Gokakyu no jutsu, explained Kakashi. Kakashi shows Naruto the hand signs. He quickly memorized them, however, the sequence wasn't very fast. Kakashi then told him once he had memorized the sequence that he needed to quicken the pace of his hand signs. It's fine, at least you know it. Now, the key to any katon jutsu is your stomach. They call the stomach the sea of chakra, although yours is full of ramen, he chuckled. You suck in, inhaling air. It'll gradually become easier to do this once you've practiced. Once you've sucked, you'll force the chakra from your stomach, up your esophagus and out your mouth. It then becomes fire infused with chakra. Kakashi turned around and quickly went through the hand signs. He blew out quite a large fireball. Naruto's hair wisped up as he watched the fire burn. The fire reflected in his eyes and the smile on his face began to be more and more noticeable. Once the fire receded, Kakashi pulled his mask back up. Okay, Kakashi turned around and gave him an eye smile. Now you try, he said. Naruto walked past him and went through a series of hand signs. Katon, Gokakyu no jutsu, he breathed in. He could feel the chakra travel up from his stomach. He blew out, and a stream of fire shot out of his mouth. It was by no means as large as Kakashi's, however, it could do harm to a small group of ninja, no doubt. Naruto turned away from the charred earth with a smile. He had soot on his mouth, he chuckled. 1 week later. After his training with Kakashi and Rin, Naruto had set out to master the katon jutsu to its fullest extent. Kakashi had stressed that whilst he was able to perform it firstly was an achievement. However, the intensity and speed, which the jutsu was conducted was subpar. So Kakashi refused to teach Naruto any more jutsu until he could do the fireball jutsu in his sleep. He had done so and was now very proficient. Naruto was currently at home and had resolved to target practice in the Namikaze's backyard. He threw 3 kunai at the 3 logs set up. He hit all 3 targets in the bullseye. The 7-year-old smiled at his accomplishment. It's becoming second nature, he thought to himself. Naruto went to walk over to retrieve his kunai. He stopped mid-step. Somebody jumped from behind him. With a kunai, the young boy thrust down with a kunai. Naruto pulled out a kunai, and the two met with sparks. Kushina answered her front door with Rin in her arms. She smiled when he saw who it was. It was her best friend. Mikoto Uchiha, her son Sasuke, was also in her arms. Mikoto, you're glowing. And this is little Sasuke, she cooed. Hi Kushina, thank you, you're glowing yourself? I think Itachi-kun went around to your backyard to play with Naruto-kun, Kushina smiled. Yes, that boy is always out, always learning something new, she said. Well, are you going to invite me? She laughed. Kushina blushed in embarrassment. Of course I was. She yelled and stepped outside, allowing a giggling Mikoto into her home. I really hope that Itachi-kun and Naruto-kun can become friends, she said as they walked through the Namikaze compound. Yeah, maybe they'll even become rivals like us, laughed Kushina. Of course, you never beat me though, she gave her a sly grin. What? You just can't admit when you lose, that's your problem, said Kushina with her arms crossed over her ample bosoms. What's your problem? Asked Naruto as he held the attacker at bay. My name is Itachi Uchiha and well, I didn't know how to approach you. So I decided that a direct approach would be best, he smiled. Itachi was a similar height to him, and also a recognized genius like Naruto. Itachi had a long ponytail tied at the back of his head. 2 bangs of black hair framed his face. He had tear marks running from his eyes to his lower chin. He wore a simple black shirt with the Uchiha fan on the back and pants with white shinobi tape around his calves. He also had open-toed shinobi shoes on. It's nice to meet you, Itachi, Naruto groaned as they both struggled trying to force the kunai out of each other's hands. I'm Naruto, so I take it that you want to spar? He asked. A smile on either boy's face began to grow. Katan, Gokakyu no Jutsu / Katan, Gokakyu no Jutsu. Mikoto and Kushina heard the Katan Jutsu being called out. The pair of them had been talking for about 10 minutes. They both jumped up off the couch in a panic and made their way quickly out into the backyard. 2 streams of fire fought for dominance. Kushina and Mikoto looked horrified. They spotted Jiraiya watching them with a small smirk on his face. What are you doing just watching this? She yelled. Why would you want to stop this? Asked Jiraiya. What? Yelled Mikoto. The smiles haven't left their faces since they've started, commented Jiraiya as the streams of fire dissipated. Naruto and Itachi charged at each other, each with kunai in hand. They both swung forward, the pair ending up on opposite sides. The prodigies pivoted back and began trading blows and slashes. Itachi swiped horizontally and Naruto vaulted Itachi and went to punch him from his blind spot. Once he made contact, Itachi replaced himself with a log. Naruto channeled chakra to his feet and flipped back. How did you know I was going to do that? Asked Itachi. You aren't the only one with a kekkeigenkai, although it doesn't work when I tell it to, only sometimes, he chuckled as he threw the kunai at the ground between. Truce? He threw his hands up. Itachi smiled. All right, said Itachi. Truce, he chuckled when Naruto began to rub the back of his head. Ah, those kids, Jiraiya Namikaze laughed. Why are they both laughing? Asked Kushina. They're even weirder than they used to be, commented Mikoto. Jiraiya chuckled. Because he smiled. Their friendship is born out of mutual respect, which will turn into a rivalry, and a rivalry that those two will grow through. Becoming best of friends, he chuckled. You two are exactly like them, he rubbed the back of his head. Well, of course Naruto-chan is way stronger, commented Kushina. What? Itachi-kun was about to win. Get some glasses, Grandma, Mikoto huffed. Can't you take a lesson from those two? Asked Jiraiya. The bickering mothers looked up to see their sons laughing together. Not too long ago they were like that, starting their journey to becoming a shinobi. They both saw themselves. Their sons had just become friends. So you're from the Uchiha clan? Well, obviously, since your name is Itachi Uchiha, said Naruto as he rubbed the back of his head. Yes, that is correct, said Itachi. What have you learned so far? He asked. I've mastered the 3 chakra control exercises. I've learned all the basic academy ninjutsu, a katan jutsu, and some fuinjutsu. I've also trained in leaf katas, said Naruto with a smile. Itachi nodded. I assume you've done a lot more than me? Asked Naruto. Why would you assume that? Asked Itachi. Aren't you the Namikaze heir? Stated Itachi. Yes, well, I hear that the Uchiha heir starts training at age 4, whereas I started at age 5, he said. Actually, you assume wrong, he smiled. I haven't learned much more than you. I've only had more time to practice, he chuckled when he saw Naruto sigh in relief. I was worried there, I thought that you were miles ahead of me. He sat down on the cool grass and Itachi joined him. Who says I'm not? Joked Itachi. Says the spar we just had. Well, I could tell you were holding back, said Naruto with a smile. Well, I could tell you were holding back as well, said Itachi. Naruto and Itachi's expressions softened. Suddenly they both broke out in a smile. They shot up and resumed their spar. Their smiles never leave their faces, not for a second. The two proud mothers watched as their younger children had recently joined them. They watched their two eldest children spar. They both saw themselves and what they were like as shinobi rivals. Unknown to them, those two children were going to go down in the history books as two of Konoha's greatest shinobi ever. We have a problem, stated Minato. He and the other shinobi council members assembled. Koharu and Hamaru were seated next to him. I'm afraid that I miscalculated, he said sadly. What exactly is the problem? Asked Shikaku. My son, Ren, the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, he sighed. The seal isn't going to work like I wished it to. It was initially unwise to seal away that much chakra, however, the seal is holding it back quite nicely, he said. Then what's the problem, Minato-sama? Asked Inoichi. The seal worked too well. Ren will never know that he's a Jinchuriki unless someone tells him. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I wanted Ren to master Kyuubi's chakra when he came of age. Unfortunately, none of the Kyuubi's chakra is mixing with Ren's, meaning that Ren won't be aided in any way, nor will he have any benefits of being a Jinchuriki, explained Minato. In a time of uncertainty such as this, Ren would be greatly aided by being a Jinchuriki, stated Hamaru. What do you suggest? Asked Koharu. Another vessel, Danzo, stood up. I may have a solution, he stated. Minato grew uneasy. Danzo was a very suspicious man. Minato wasn't sure if he had his son's best interest at heart, or his own. Yes, I pushed Minato. Kusagakure, he said. Kusa? Asked Shikaku. Yes. They were greatly weakened in the war and are in need of allies, he smiled. Hokage-sama, I have a remedy, however, at the present time I do not have all the details confirmed, he narrowed his visible eye. Well, all right then, Danzo, I trust that you have this village's best interest at heart, he nodded at the affirmative. Well, all right then, you said another vessel, do you intend to capture one? He asked as he narrowed his eyes. Of course not, Hokage-sama, I will not act without your consent, he said. You will inform me of any developments, whatever they may be. Also, this whole affair is to remain secret. Nobody is to speak of this meeting outside this room. Ren will be told of his Jinchuriki status by myself and Kushina. When we transfer the young half of the 9 tails out of Ren, he will be sedated and his conscious mind will remain unaware of anything. The sealing will occur out of the village, similar to the births of my 2 sons. My personal Umbu will also be present and will monitor the situation. Also, we are to properly inform the new host of his or her soon-to-be status. If they come from Kusa, then we are to meet them at the border and escort them to Konoha. Danzo, I trust that you will work collaboratively with Koharu and Hamaru. You will report back to me with your plans. I will also be present in the diplomatic talks with Kusagakure. If they wish to give us a new host as a symbol of an alliance, we will not turn their offer away. He stood up and sighed. Meeting adjourned. The first days. Oh, you're going to do great, sweetheart, Kushina fussed over her eldest child. Like many mothers did to their children in the courtyard of the academy. Just do your best, respect your senpais, pay attention in class and always bring a water bottle with you, she kissed him on the forehead. Kekkei-chan, stop, Naruto's facial color rivaled a tomato. Ha ha, niece in your face, giggled Rin as he held on to Kushina's dress. Oh, and make sure that you make some really good friends, she giggled when Naruto. Just do your best, came a new voice from behind Kushina. Minato walked over to them carrying a baby girl. The little baby had taken the Namikaze household by surprise. Little Carrie Namikaze, unlike Ren, was born in the Hidden Leaf Hospital. The birth was normal and there were no giant foxes, destruction or deaths. She was a blessing and a healthy, beautiful baby. She was very active, she had blonde hair but violet eyes. Different from Rin and Naruto, who had taken after one of their parents, she had inherited traits from them both. She had Kushina's round face, but she inherited her father's hair. Kushina took Carrie from Minato and rocked her up and down gently. Minato put his hand on Naruto's head, making him smile. Do your best, I know you'll make me proud, he tousled his hair and walked off to the podium in front of the crowd. Kushina smiled as she saw her eldest son turn around at the big crowd. She saw him hesitate. She gave him a gentle push forward, making him take the first step. He continued on as he gulped audibly. Kushina watched him walk over to the other group of aspiring genin. A motherly smile appeared on her face as she watched her son walk off. They grow up too fast, she said aloud. I'd have to agree with, said Mikoto, appearing behind the Namikaze family. Itachi bowed. Mrs. Namikaze, Kushina smiled at Itachi. Hello there, Itachi-kun, Naruto-chan just walked off, she pointed to the crowd. I will find him, he bowed again and walked off. A bundle in Mikoto's arms began to cry. Oh there, baby, she rocked. She's gotten bigger. Hello there, Ayano-chan, commented Kushina as she observed the baby girl in Mikoto's arms. Mikoto smiled as the baby's cries began to soften. She's adorable, said Kushina as the baby opened its black eyes. Hi! Mikoto Basin, greeted Ren with a smile and a wave. Sasuke held onto Mikoto's dress. Hello to you, Ren-kun, how are you? Asked Mikoto. I'm okay, Kaa-chan said that she'd take me for ramen today if I'm good, he giggled. That's great, you better make sure you're good then, she commented as the young redhead nodded his head eagerly. Carrie in Kushina's arms began to fuss about. Yes, I know you're bored, she giggled and kissed her on the forehead. We'll stay for Minato-kun's speech and then we could go to the park? Suggested Kushina. Ren cheered and Sasuke smiled. That sounds nice, said Mikoto. Welcome all, today you're taking your first steps into becoming shinobi of the Hidden Leaf Village started by Minato. Naruto watched his father with a smile. He was broken out of his stupor when he felt a hand on his shoulder. He turned around to see his smiling friend, Itachi. You're looking chirpy this fine morning, commented Itachi with a chuckle. Naruto chuckled with him. Coming from a person who's notoriously broody, that's ironic, said Naruto as he smiled and rubbed the back of his head. The word you're thinking of is introverted, said Itachi as crossed his arms. Call it what you want, he shrugged. Itachi sighed and smiled. All of you, don't take your studies lightly, work hard and I know you will all become splendid shinobi and usher in the new generation of Hidden Leaf Ninja. He flushed away. Naruto sighed and rubbed the back of his head. I get the feeling that the academy is where we'll meet some real interesting people, said Naruto as he surveyed the cheering kids his age. Well, this is where new ninjas form their team bonds, said Itachi with a smile. The teachers all called out their students via a roll in front of them. When the classes were assembled, the students were led to their classroom, following their new teachers. Okay, huh? Naruto Namikaze said a Chunin. Here, he walked up to his teacher. It's nice to meet you, Aoba-sensei, Naruto bowed respectfully. Yes, it's nice to meet you at Namikaze-sama, said Aoba. Naruto blushed. Oh, you don't have to call me that, please, Naruto is fine, he waved and rubbed the back of his head. Alright then. Naruto, Aoba nodded and led his class away. You know, this academy thing isn't all it's cracked up to be, Naruto leaned on his forearms in his chair. He sat next to Itachi at the back of the class who was listening to Aoba's lecture intently. He also took some notes on a notepad in front of him. Naruto, come on, why don't you listen? He whispered harshly. Naruto groaned and banged his head against his desk. He looked up and surveyed his new classmates. There was a girl with facial tattoos and sharp-looking features. She had unruly brown hair and she wore pants, blue shinobi shoes, a mesh shirt and red undershirt. Over the top she had an open red jacket that was tattered at the ends. Naruto then turned to another girl sitting by herself. She had her hair up, making it look like a pineapple. She wore a mesh undershirt and a small skirt. She wore a trench coat over the top of her mesh shirt. Naruto looked at her, and she glared menacingly at him. He sharply turned the other way with a scared look on his face. Another boy that sat in front of him kept coughing, like clockwork. It was rather predictable. He was a sickly-looking kid with brown hair. He wore a top and khaki pants with shinobi boots. On the other side of the room was a girl with an unusual hair color of light purple color. It was short, and went down just past her ears. She had brown eyes that sparkled with mischievousness as she smiled to herself. She wore a purple top and three-quarter pants with shinobi boots. She had a bracelet around her wrist. Itachi broke his pencil and sighed. He turned to his friend. Naruto, may I borrow a pencil? He asked. Sure, Yugao, who heard them talking, turned around to see who it was. While Naruto was rummaging in his pants pockets for a pencil, she caught Itachi's eye line. He just looked at her. His lips broke out into the tiniest smile. Her cheeks turned a pink color, and she quickly turned back. Here, said Naruto as he handed Itachi a pencil. Thank you, he said as he continued to write notes. Naruto looked down to 2 rows in front of him. It was a boy with long brown hair. He hadn't said a word today. He had no pupils in his eyes. He wore a bandage around his forehead. He also wore a jacket and khaki shorts. Next to him sat a boy with long black hair tied into a ponytail. At the top it spiked out in all directions. He had round black eyes and the bushiest eyebrows that Naruto had ever seen. He wore a GI-like brown shirt with a belt tied over it. Underneath he wore a mesh shirt. He also wore black 3/4 pants and black shinobi shoes. In the row in front of the 2 boys was a girl with brown hair, tied up in small buns. She had a bored expression on her face. She wore a brown top and 3/4 pants with shinobi boots. Naruto sighed again. Do you know the answer, Naruto? Asked Aoba. Yes, the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju, fought with Madara Uchiha at the site now known as the Valley of the End. Aoba nodded and continued his lecture. You could try and act a little interested, suggested Itachi. Naruto chuckled and nodded as he looked up. The end of the day. The sun was setting as the academy students made their way out of the academy gates. Itachi and Naruto had made some friends. The girl with the light purple hair, Yugao Yuzuki. The Inuzuka heiress, Hana Inuzuka. The sickly boy, Hate Gecko. The bushy-browed loudmouth, Rock Lee. The girl with the buns in her hair, Tenten. Finally the girl with pineapple hair, Anko Mitarashi. They were all interesting and they all had unique personalities. They all met at lunch, and they all quickly became friends. So guess I'll see you all tomorrow, said Tenten. Yeah, for sure, Tenten-chan, said Lee with a smile. They both walked away with smiles on their faces. Bye everyone, bye Itachi-kun, bye Naruto, said Yugao as she walked away. I guess I'll see you losers tomorrow, said Anko as she stuffed her hand in her pockets and walked away. Hate coughed and bowed. Goodbye, Naruto-san, Itachi-san, he walked away with another cough. See ya later, pups, tomorrow we should have a spar, Hana giggled and walked away. Well, today was an interesting day, wasn't it? Asked Itachi. Yeah, it was a nice day, said Naruto as the two began to walk home. Naruto put his hands behind his neck as they walked. Did you have a nice day at school, Naruto-chan? Asked Kushina as Naruto walked in the door. Oh, yeah, I did, and I made some nice friends, said Naruto. I'm glad, said Kushina from the kitchen. Ni-san. Naruto was tackled by a red blur who latched himself onto his waist. Hi there, Rin-chan, said Naruto as he rubbed the top of his head. Ni-san, can you play with me? Asked the small boy. Sure, Rin-chan, Naruto smiled as the young boy cheered. Come inside when I call for dinner, boys, said Kushina. Ren ran outside followed by Naruto. He turned around to see his father and Kakashi walk in the room. Naruto smiled at them and turned around. He bumped into somebody and fell down on the floorboards. Shusui greeted Naruto. Hi there, Naruto, long time no see. Hey, he patted him on the head. What are you doing here? He asked. Oh, nothing, you know me, just dropping by, your brother is getting impatient. Ni-san, are you coming? Asked Rin as he popped his head through the door. Yeah, I'm coming, Naruto ran out after his little brother. Alright, Kakashi, I have something to discuss with both of you, said Minato as the duo walked to his office. Naruto walked with his backpack onto the academy with a smile on his face. People in the street waved at him, and he happily offered a hello and a wave of his own. Many addressed him as Namikaze-sama, which he didn't mind as it was only a formality. Hi Namikaze-sama, said a young mother. She pushed a stroller with a baby girl inside. Hello, miss, he stopped and bowed. He continued on. Well, what do we have here? A jonin appeared in front of Naruto, making him stumble back. A young man in the springtime of his youth, striving to become the best shinobi he can be, whilst trying to be humble and polite. That is very youthful of you, Naruto-kun, cried Guy. Oh, hi, Mr. The name's Might Guy, the green beast of Konohagakure and master of the shinobi art, taijutsu. He gave him a thumbs up and his teeth sparkled. Taijutsu? You say you're a master of taijutsu? Asked Naruto. Yes, that is correct, my young friend, there's nobody better. I assume you're on your way to the academy? Asked Guy. Yes, I am Guy-san, if you'd excuse me, I'm late for class. He bowed again and began to walk off in the direction of the academy. Ho ho ho. Naruto-kun, I as a jonin have been given the power to pull students out of class to test their abilities. Will you accept my challenge? He asked. Challenge? Asked Naruto. Yes. If you can land one hit on me in a hot-blooded taijutsu match, then I'll do 500 laps around Konoha on my hands, and I'll also take you on as my personal taijutsu student. Naruto clenched his fist. Okay, and if I land a hit on you, what's that entail? He asked. It means that you'll have to give up being a ninja, he said seriously. Give up? He asked. Yes, you'll have to give up being a ninja. Is it worth the gamble, Naruto, to learn from a taijutsu specialist? He asked. Naruto stared at the ground. I accept, he glared into Guy's eyes with his blue ones. Very well, said Guy. Meeting me at training ground 12 in 30 minutes, he disappeared in a leaf shushin. Guy stood up in the middle of the training field with his eyes closed. Well, Naruto-kun, are you ready? Asked Guy. Naruto walked up to him. He quickly channeled chakra into his legs and sprinted forward toward Guy. Before he could reach him, he exploded. Guy shielded his eyes from the smoke. That was the Bunshin Daibakuha, an A-rank ninjutsu. How did Naruto-kun learn that jutsu? He wondered. Naruto appeared behind Guy in a burst of speed and attempted to strike him in the head. Guy quickly moved his hand up and grabbed it. Your form is sloppy and the power behind the punch was subpar. You still have a long way to come in taijutsu. He kicked him in the midsection, which sent Naruto back several paces. He skidded back on the grass holding the spot that Guy kicked. Use the explosion to distract me and attack me at my blind spot, he smiled when he saw Naruto glaring fearlessly at him. This kid has got spunk. Guy pushed off and charged toward Naruto. He immediately had Naruto on the defensive as he was forced to dodge. He blocked when he had to. But the problem was that Guy's punches still did some damage, despite the fact that he wasn't fighting at full strength. Naruto flipped back. I wish I could use ninjutsu, but I have to get better at taijutsu. Naruto growled as he kicked back off the ground. He attempted to kick at Guy's feet. Guy jumped up and crashed into the ground with a double-footed stomp. He's pretty quick for a kid his age, thought Guy as the dust cleared. Naruto stood in a basic taijutsu stance a few paces away from Guy. I see, so he does have some form, thought Guy. Naruto ran sideways to the right. Guy stood straight, not looking at him. Naruto growled when Guy didn't follow his movements. He's baiting me, he thought. You have to attack Naruto-kun. You either think on your feet or you give your opponent time to think. Guy disappeared in a burst of speed and appeared above Naruto. Naruto lost his footing and fell backward. He covered up awaiting the pain, but it never came. Naruto opened one eye to see Guy standing over him with his index finger pointing toward Naruto. So what are you going to do, Naruto-kun? Are you going to give up being a shinobi? Asked Guy as he stared into Naruto's eyes. Naruto's fingers dug up the dirt around them. No, he said. Why not? He asked. Because I'll never give up or back down. I haven't lost because there's no way that I'll ever stop trying. He yelled. You think that just because you never give up or back down that you can beat me? Asked Guy. Yes, I do. If being a genius means that I'll always be spoon-fed jutsu and told how great I am, then I'd rather be a fool. Guy's eyes widened at the young boy's resolve. I'll never give up and I won't back down, he yelled in determination. I see. Guy took a few steps back and Naruto got back up. Naruto charged at Guy. Guy smirked at Naruto as the young academy student cocked his arm back. Guy just watched as Naruto punched him in the stomach. Guy winced a little and Naruto's eyes widened. Why did you let me hit you? Yelled Naruto. Because, Guy smiled. You've got the guts to be a splendid shinobi. He put his hand on his head. Naruto gasped as Guy laughed. Why the tears of Naruto-kun? You just found your nindo. He laughed as Naruto began to cry. Thank you, he whispered. Huh? Asked Guy, unsure of what he said. Thank you so much, Guy-sensei, he exclaimed as loud as his lungs would let him. All right, let us begin our training right away. Afterward I'll do as promised and do 500 laps around Konoha on my hands, he yelled in joy. Just informing you that your child was absent from the Ninja Academy today, read Kushina. Kushina read the message that appeared in a puff of smoke on her dining room table. What? He skipped school on his second day, she yelled. Narutochen and you are in so much trouble. She punched her open palm. She stormed into the living room to see Rin playing with his toy cars. His 5-month-old sister is trying to sit up on the floor. When she walked into the room, Carrie raised her arms at Kushina. She babbled happily as Kushina picked her up. Ren-chan, we have to go visit your Tusan at the office. Go get your shoes, she said, sickly sweet. Oh okay, Ka-chan, he panicked as he ran for his shoes. Kushina went over to the stroller and put her daughter. Ren hopped down the stairs trying to get his shoes on. He got them on quickly and ran up to his mother. Ready, Ka-chan, she smiled. Good boy. At least one of my sons isn't a delinquent. Ren looked at her confused. Kushina-sama, the Hokage is. Kushina ignored the receptionist. Minato Namikaze, where is our son? He skipped school and there you are. She yelled and pointed to Naruto. His clothes were tattered and torn and he had dirt all over his face. His backpack at his feet. Guy stood next to him with a broad smile. Kushina-chan, stammered Minato as he rubbed the back of his head. It's okay, Naruto-chan didn't intend to skip the academy, said Minato as he waved his hands in front of him. Explain, she crossed her arms. Carrie recognized Naruto and waved her arms around happily at her older brother. Hi Carrie-chan, he chuckled. Naruto Namikaze, where were you today? She questioned. I was training with Guy-sensei Ka-chan, you know, he punched his fist into his palm. Guy-sensei said that as a jonin he has the privilege to get me out of school to train. Kushina looked at her child with an inquisitive look. Did he know? Said Kushina looking behind her son toward Guy. Yup. Guy-sensei helped me find my nindo, and he said that he'd train me in taijutsu. Naruto smiled but it deadened when he saw his mother's stern look. If that's okay with you Ka-chan, he rubbed the back of his head nervously. She sighed and bent down. She cupped her son's cheeks and with her thumbs, her palms rested on his neck. She turned his head side to side. You're not hurt, are you? She asked. And no, said Naruto. She smiled. So Naruto-chan, what's your new nindo? She asked. I'll never give up or back down, he cheered with a broad smile. Chapter 6. The New Edition. I knew you'd be up here, Itachi Uchiha smiled, the mature Sharingan activated, and walked up behind his friend. Naruto lay on the grass above the Hokage monument. He had his hands behind his back as the warm wind blew through his blonde hair. This was his favorite spot in the entire village. A place of solace. A place of peace. A place to reflect. Naruto now sported a tanto strapped to his shoulder. Really, what gave my location away? Asked Naruto as Itachi sat down next to him. Because I know your chakra. My Sharingan can detect it in an instant, said Itachi. His Sharingan receded. Well, either my chakra is really memorable, or you're a creep, said Naruto with a smile. Itachi chuckled. Maybe you're right, it's probably the latter. They both broke out in laughter. Hey, you want to see something new I figured out? Asked Naruto. Itachi nodded curiously. Naruto sat up and faced his friend. Ka-chan told me that you have to be really creative to fight with Fuinjutsu. So I got creative. He pulled up his long sleeves to reveal 2 seals on each arm. On each wrist there was a band and over the top was the kanji 4 seal. What good will those do? By the looks of things they're just storage seals. I remember you showing them to me a few months after we became friends, said Itachi with a confused expression. Well, despite the fact that shinobi always carry ninja tools, they always have to reach in for pockets and compartments that aren't functional, and sometimes cause them to lose precious time in battle. But with these seals, I can summon ninja tools that I've stored away in them in seconds, explained Naruto. Oh, I get it, said Itachi. That's pretty cool actually, but why would you need to wear them now? I mean, we still have to finish the academy, Naruto chuckled. Before you say anything, I am well aware that we are well ahead of those in our year, said Itachi. Meaning that we probably won't be at the academy very long, Itachi sighed. Well, you're forgetting Yugao. She's really scary sometimes. She'll give us a run for our money if we don't keep training, said Naruto. Yeah, she's strong, said Itachi with a nod. We probably don't want to wait around here anymore. I also came by because I know you've developed a habit of being late. So I thought that I'd save you the trouble of any other lecture from Aoba-sensei, said Itachi with a laugh. Yeah, Naruto held his fist out with a smile. Itachi smiled back and fist bumped with Naruto. They both looked out over the ledge. A single leaf blew out in front of them. The leaf danced in the wind. It slowly made its way to the grass below. Once the tip of the leaf touched the ground, both boys broke and the fist bump sprung to their feet. They both ran and jumped off the top of the Hokage monument. The leaf behind them kicked up again into the wind. Yahoo! Naruto and Itachi dove down the Hokage monument. The pair of them flipped backward and jumped onto the roof of the Hokage tower. The two resident Sannin stood on top of the roof of the Hokage tower. Settle down, mister, or you'll get a good super strong punch, said Tsunade as she poked Jiraiya in the chest, pushing him back. Ah, come on, Tsunadeheim, just take off Naruto. Itachi. Jiraiya looked to his right to see his grandson and his best friend rocket toward them. Just take off, Naruto. Itachi. Is that your idea of a pickup line I expected? Naruto and Itachi ran past them on either side. Trails of dust behind them, the pair jumped off the Hokage monument in a fit of laughter. Typical, Tsunade smiled. Those kids really have the worst timing, Jiraiya pouted. It's good to see that you're all here on time. Naruto, Aoba joked, making the class laugh. Naruto blushed and looked down at his desk, showcasing his shy side. Now, we all have the pleasure of making a new friend today. Naruto looked up. Aoba never spoke indirectly, he was always straightforward. Naruto looked at him with a look of innocent curiosity. We have a new student that will be joining our class. She comes from a land very far away. Come in. Aoba looked to the door and the person who walked through the door. A girl of average height walked through the door. She wore glasses with rounded edges. She had a blush of embarrassment on her face. She wore a mesh undershirt with a small jacket over the top. She also sported shinobi boots and mesh shorts that stopped by her mid-thigh. Her most striking feature was her blood-red hair and eyes. Uzumaki, thought Naruto. Hey Naruto, she looks like your Naruto. Itachi tried to get his friend's attention, but Naruto was in shock. The girl's red eyes met his curious blue ones and her blush intensified. This is just too strange, he thought. Everyone, I'd like you all to meet Karen Uzumaki, said Aoba as he introduced his new student. Hello, she said meekly. Ah, look, Karen, there's a spare spot next to Naruto. See, Aoba pointed up to one of the last rows. Still sporting her blush, she walked up to the seat next to Naruto. She awkwardly sat next to him. Hi Karen, it's nice to meet you, said Naruto with a small smile. Hi, she looked down at her desk. Good morning Karen, my name is Itachi, nice to meet you, said Itachi. Karen, can you hear us? Asked Naruto curiously. Maybe she's ill, suggested Itachi. Her face does appear to be red. Naruto put his hand to his own forehead and another to Karen's. You're right, she's burning up, you know. Karen shied away from the contact. I'm sorry Karen, did I hurt you, said Naruto remorsefully. No you didn't, I'm fine, she blurted out. The entire class looked at the young girl. Sorry, she looked back down to her desk. Karen, please be quiet, said Aoba as he continued to write on the board. Naruto chuckled. What's so funny? She whispered harshly. Nothing, you just remind me of my little brother, he smiled and then turned back to Aoba. Karen didn't know what to make of this boy. He looked rather girly if she was honest. But his chakra was gentle, warm and cheerful. Something she knew nothing about being. It had been 6 months since Naruto started to train with Guy in the Goken-style taijutsu. Guy suspected that Naruto would not take more to a direct style of fighting, however, he was mistaken. Kakashi had offered to teach him some of the Namikaze's hummingbird style. Naruto declined. Why? Because Naruto was determined to become his own person and not his father. He loved the Goken style and taijutsu quickly became one of his favorite areas of the shinobi arts. Naruto had also developed a small array of, he had mastered 2 katan, Gokaku no Jutsu and katan, Hozenka no Jutsu. As well as 2 futon, Daitapa and futon, Repusho. He had yet to explore his right-un element. Kakashi had expressed that although right-un was extremely useful, it was a volatile element. Kakashi deemed him too young to learn any right-un just yet. Naruto and Itachi would often spar and practice their jutsu against one another. The two were on the fast track to becoming shinobi, much to the chagrin of their mothers. Both of them wanted them to remain innocent for as long as possible. But at the rate they were both progressing, that wouldn't be the case. The 2 7-year-olds were extremely gifted in the shinobi arts, and would soon become genin. The 2 friends stood across from each other with smiles on their young faces. They were both situated in a clearing in the hidden leaf forest. A small stream ran through the clearing. You think you can beat me? Asked Itachi as he dropped into the Uchiha's interceptor fist style. She shut his eyes and a second later opened them to reveal his fully matured Sharingan. Bring it, Naruto, as he dropped into his stance. He bent one foot in front of the other. He held his left hand out in front of him. His right hand was balled into a fist and held firm by his hip. Both kicked off on their back feet, causing blades of grass to wisp up from the ground. Both pumped chakra into their legs and chakra dashed toward each other. Both were knocked back a few steps when they collided with each other. Itachi back-flipped and threw some shuriken at Naruto. Itachi quickly went through some hand signs. "Shuriken Kage Bunshin no Jutsu," he called out. Naruto smiled as he stomped his foot behind him, the shuriken slowed down in his eyes. He sidestepped them all with ease. Itachi watched in amazement with his Sharingan. Even with his dojutsu recording every movement, Itachi struggled to follow. It wasn't that Naruto was fast, it was as if he had his own Sharingan. He predicted all of the shuriken's trajectory. Once the barrage was over, Naruto disappeared from sight and reappeared behind Itachi. Tanto in hand, he swung down at Itachi, who replaced himself with a log on the other side of the training ground. Itachi smirked and Naruto's eyes widened as Itachi reached out and pulled some invisible wire. Naruto was wrapped up and left immobilized. "Looks like I beat Naruto," said Itachi. "You're usually right, but in this case." "Furin!" exclaimed Naruto as Itachi fell to his knees as a gravity seal activated on the field. "When did you set that up?" asked Itachi. Naruto struggled but eventually made a cross-hand sign. "Kage Bushin no Jutsu." The clone grabbed his tanto and cut the wire, leaving him free. "Transform," said Naruto as the clone transformed into a demon wind shuriken. Naruto grabbed the large shuriken. "I can't get out of the seal barrier," thought Itachi as his Sharingan spun clockwise. The shuriken spun in Naruto's hand. He smirked and jumped up. He flipped forward with his arm outstretched. "There," thought Itachi. Naruto threw the shuriken at Itachi with all his forward momentum. Itachi clenched his fist and grabbed the loose wire in his hand. He pulled it toward him. He hardened the wire with chakra so it wouldn't break upon impact. The wire wrapped around the shuriken and redirected it off course into the forest. It cut through a tree and then became embedded in another. The seal recedes in a small light. Naruto and Itachi painted. Naruto pulled out his tanto, and Itachi pulled out a kunai. The two rushed forward again. Both met each other's forward slash. The impact created a loud clang and sparks. The two began trading blows one after the other. Itachi ducked a strike from Naruto and went to sweep his legs. Naruto back-flipped away, Itachi closely in pursuit. Whilst in midair, Naruto put his hands together. Futon, Repusho, he propelled himself upward out of Itachi's strike range. He smirked down at Itachi. Naruto flipped back down. "That was pretty interesting. I didn't know you were that far along with futon manipulation," commented Itachi as he sunk back into his stance. "I've also come up with another really cool trick." Naruto made the ram's seal and wind chakra focus to the back of his heels. "Here I come," the chakra burst forward. Naruto was propelled toward Itachi with tanto at the ready. Itachi was able to predict his movements and sidestep him. Naruto went sailing a few steps past him. He stabbed the ground with his tanto. He swung around the hilt, channeling more wind chakra to his lower body as he landed on his feet. Itachi held out a kunai, and with the help of his Sharingan was able to parry away Naruto's strike. Itachi was able to pull out a second kunai, and he held it to his friend's throat before he could strike him. "Looks like I win," said Itachi with a smile. "Think again," said Naruto with a smirk as he held a second kunai of his own inches away from Itachi's abdomen. "D-draw then," said Itachi as he sighed of exhaustion. "TCH, that's 4 in a row now," said Naruto as he fell backward panting. Itachi chuckled and sat down next to his friend. "What do you make of that new girl Karen?" asked Itachi, still panting. "Well, she's definitely an Uzumaki. That hair is a dead giveaway. So I guess in some weird way we're related, cousins I think." He adopted a thinking pose. "Come to think of it, the fact that she ended up in our class has Kachan written all over it. Maybe she hoped that I'd befriend her or something or other," he shrugged. "Well, if she's from the Uzumaki clan then you are both relatives somehow, but then again, I remember you telling me that Uzumaki is a common name on Yuzushiogakure. It wouldn't surprise me if my Ka-san was involved as well. They probably ganged up on Hokage-sama." Itachi scratched the side of his face and smiled. "Probably. Well, I wouldn't agree with them if they teamed up on me," laughed Naruto. "I completely agree with you. That's a duo that I wouldn't want to run into in a dark, foggy night if I was an enemy shinobi," joked Itachi. Naruto chuckled. "Who says you don't have a sense of humor?" said Naruto. "I'm full of surprises. They also say you look girly," said Itachi with a smile. "Do you think we'll graduate soon?" he asked, changing the subject. "Well, at the end of the day, it isn't up to us. But I'm not really in any hurry to graduate," said Naruto. Why not? Don't you want to be a ninja? Asked Itachi. No, nothing like that, I just don't want to go out unprepared. I mean, every ninja, even Kage, are inexperienced at some point in their career, but being that little bit more prepared may mean the difference, said Naruto with a sigh. You've been thinking a lot lately, huh? Asked Itachi. It's just silly what-if stuff. I've got to get home before the sun goes down. He flipped up onto his feet. Catch you later, you know, he waved as he walked off. Itachi sighed and shook his head. He eventually made his own way back to the Uchiha compound. Naruto casually walked up to the Namikaze compound with a blank look on his face. Maybe if I increase the chakra that the seal outputs, the gravity will increase, then I might invent some sort of crippling seal, he thought as he opened the door to his home. He took off his shoes, leaving only white bandage around his ankles. He yawned and rubbed the back of his head as he walked into the living room. Minato read the newspaper, relishing in the free time that he had been granted from his Hokage duties. Naruto's 9-month-old sister sat at the table in her high chair. She squealed as she saw her older brother walk in the room. Hey there, kiddo, said Minato as he looked away from his newspaper. Hi Tusan, said a cheerful Naruto as he put his bag on the table. Carrie reached out for her brother, which made Naruto smile at her. He reached out and he grabbed her hand gently. Nah, she said, making Naruto chuckle. Your little brother and Ka-chan are talking to your new friend in the study, said Minato. Really, wait, new friend? Asked Naruto. Yup, new friend. Go and talk with them, said Minato, drinking out of a mug. Nah, babbled Carrie, trying to get her big brother's attention. Oh, and take your little sister with you, Minato chuckled as he turned back to his paper. Naruto walked over to the other side of the table and picked her up out of her high chair. Carrie played with Naruto's hair and she giggled when Naruto blew in her face. The Namikaze duo walked into the study. The conversation taking place in the study began to get louder as they walked down the hall. Kyosugakure was a nice village, but the people sucked, said an unfamiliar voice. Well, I'm glad that another Uzumaki is still alive. You've been through a lot, Karen-chan, said Kushina. That would suck, agreed Ren. Naruto knocked on the door and opened it with one hand. Namikaze, yelled Karen. Oh, new friend. I knew it was Ka-chan, Naruto smiled. Hi Karen, said Naruto with a friendly tone. Kushina walked up to her eldest and kissed him on the forehead. She took her youngest from him, eliciting a gurgle from the baby girl. What are you doing here? She asked. I live here, he said, pointing to himself. I suppose you two didn't really hit it off in the academy, giggled Kushina. Well, there was a lot of screaming, commented Naruto. That's because I was embarrassed, she yelled. Why are you shouting again? Asked Naruto calmly. Now you two are going to have to find some way to get along, said Kushina. Yeah, and I-san, Karen is staying here, chirped Ren. That's okay with you? She asked as she crossed her arms. Sure, I don't have any problems, said Naruto with a smile. That's my boy, now go wash up before dinner, said Kushina with a proud smile. Naruto nodded and walked out. He's so girly looking, Karen huffed. I guess it's a curse among Namikaze men, but you watch, Naruto-chan is going to be a fine young man, said Kushina with a bright smile. Right, I'll believe it when I see it, said Karen. Kushina growled. Don't be so disrespectful, you know. She pointed to the door. Go get washed up, now. Karen scrambled out of the room. You to Rin-chan, she emphasized the point by leaning forward a little. Okay, Ka-chan, the young boy raced off. I've got this parenting thing down, she clenched her free fist. Chapter 7. Formation Team 7. Everyone, let's give a big congratulations to Itachi, Yugao, and Naruto for graduating the academy in only 1 year, each at 8 years of age, an impressive feat. The class clapped as the 3 newly promoted genins stood at the front of the class. Yes, I knew I was ready, said Yugao. Naruto rubbed the back of his head, embarrassed at the attention. Itachi just nodded and remained as stoic as per the status quo. Okay, your new Jonin sensei is waiting for you on the roof. Class, we will be revising the shinobi principles for the big exam next week, the entire class whined, which made the trio smile. Karen huffed. He isn't so great, she thought. Yash! Naruto-kun is striving to be the best. As sibling disciples, I will not let him surpass me, declared Lee. Itachi and Naruto shunned away. Yugao crossed her arms. I really have to learn that jutsu, she thought as she begrudgingly walked up to the roof. When she arrived, she found Itachi staring up at the clouds and Naruto drew in a book that he kept his few ninjutsu designs in. She sat down next to Naruto, who was too grossed out in his book to notice her. She looked over to Itachi, who appeared to be daydreaming. Itachi-kun, who do you think our sensei will be? Asked Yugao, trying to strum up a conversation. Itachi turned to her with a quizzical expression. I'm unsure, it could be anybody. What do you think? He asked back. That's not going to work, but if I tweak it here and maybe a little here, he thought out loud. Well, I think that a team should be balanced. And each member should complement each other. Even though we graduated together, I think we make the perfect team. I mean, I'm a sensory-type ninja, who can back you up from a distance. You're a mid to close range fighter who can back up Naruto with ninjutsu, taijutsu and genjutsu. Whilst Naruto is a close range fighter, and can back us both up if need be, she explained. So you're saying that our sensei should be someone who complements our skills? Asked Itachi. Why yeah, she said. It might not be, voiced Naruto. I mean, it might be the case of who's the best teacher or who's available after the third great ninja war. We're a little low in manpower, said Naruto. Well, it isn't the latter, that's for sure. They all looked up to see a female jonin appear in front of them. Rin Nichin! Exclaimed Naruto. The one and only, she smiled. Rin was clad in a jonin flak jacket, which was unzipped on top of her regular attire. She also had a tanto strapped to her shoulder. Since when do you take a genin team? Asked Naruto. Since I decided that I did, she shrugged. She held out 2 leaf headbands, one blue and one black. These are for Yugao and Itachi. Itachi grabbed the black one and Yugao grabbed the blue one. What about mine? Asked Naruto. You'll get yours later, she winked at him, making him smile. I want you all to tell me about yourselves now, dislikes, likes, hobbies, future ambitions, things like that, she smiled at her young pupils. I'll go first. My name is Rin Noira. I like hanging out with my friends, working at the hospital, Suiton and Katan jutsus and medical ninjutsu. My hobbies are collecting seashells and visiting restaurants. I dislike traitors and people who hurt my comrades, and my dream for the future is, she blushed and giggled. Well, that's private, okay you go, she said as she pointed to Itachi. My name is Itachi Uchiha. I like Katan jutsus and spending time with my friends. My hobbies are reading and learning new jutsu. I dislike people who slander my clan, people who are insensitive of other people's beliefs and who are intolerant of other people because they're different. My dream for the future is to become a great and respected protector of the village, he smiled. Okay, now you have a strange hair color, she pointed to Yugao, who huffed. My name is Yugao Yuzuki. I like watching the moon, going to plays, playing with my little brother and eating onigiri. My hobbies are painting, learning new things and studying history. My dislikes are people who hate the Hidden Leaf Village because of past actions and people who hold grudges. My dreams for the future are to become Umbu captain and to have a family, she said. Okay, now you little brother, she pointed to Naruto. My name is Naruto Namikaze. I like spending time with my little brother and sister, learning new jutsu, eating ramen at Ichiraku and training to be strong. He punched his open palm, making the surrounding ninja smile. My dislikes are people who hate me because of who my parents are, people who are intolerant of other people's beliefs and cultures, as well as which village they come from, and people who give up. My ambitions are to live up the Namikaze name and become a strong and respected ninja of Konohagakure. A breeze ran through the area. Naruto closed his eyes and then sharply opened them. To be Hokage, that is my dream. Rin's eyes widened, she quickly regained her composure. He's a perfect mix of those two, she thought. Alright, you're all unique and you all have your own goals. Meet me at Training Ground 10 tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Team 7 starts its first mission tomorrow. She away. We're ninja, this is so cool, said Yugao, pointing to her new headband. A ninja who can't shushin, said Naruto jokingly. You're just upset because you don't have your headband, she mocked and poked her tongue out. Rin-sensei said that I'd get it soon. I don't mind waiting a little more, Naruto smiled. I'll see you guys at the training ground tomorrow morning. Naruto used a leaf shushin to teleport away. I'll see you tomorrow, Yugao, good night. Itachi smiled and jumped away. She giggled and jumped away in the other direction. Ni-san! Naruto closed the door behind him, and he was met with a red blur who tackled his waist. Naruto immediately knew who it was. Hi there, Rin-chan, he patted his baby on the head. Ni-chan, Carrie waddled over to her older brother and hugged his leg. Hello to you to Carrie-chan, what's that you've? Carrie held a black leaf headband in her small hand. For you, she said as he held it out to him. Naruto gently took it from her and quickly tied it around his forehead. How do I look? Asked Naruto. Oh, said Carrie. Huh? Asked Naruto. Naruto-chan, you look so handsome. Kushina ran over to her eldest child and hugged him, lifting him up in the process. Thanks Kekkei-chan, he wheezed. Don't hurt the poor boy Kushina-chan. Minato walked over to them as Kushina put their son down. He put his hand on his head and rubbed. I knew you'd make us proud, son. He tousled his hair. Congratulations, he chuckled at his son's embarrassed expression. Naruto blushed at his father's praise. Your grandparents are waiting in the kitchen. We all have gifts for you, said Minato. Hiruzen, Jiraiya and Suwanda all sat around the kitchen table with smiles on their faces. Well, here's the little ninja, said Jiraiya with a hint of glee in his voice. It looks good on you, Naruto-chan, giggled Suwanda. You look like a strong young man, she smiled at him. Well done, my boy, said Hiruzen with pride in his voice. We all have gifts for you, Naruto-chan, said Kushina as the family made their way to the couches in the living room. Naruto sat down next to Ren and Carrie, each sat on his sides. I can't wait, I'll go first, said Kushina as she pulled out a scroll and unsealed its contents. I knitted you this red scarf. I put all of my mother's love into it for you, she smiled and handed it to him. Thank you, Ka-chan, it's so warm, said Naruto as he put it in his lap. I got you this, said Minato as he pulled out a yellow scroll. The kanji on the scroll's seal said swift. When you become stronger, I promise to teach you how to master your kekkeigenkai. The scroll disappeared in a puff of smoke. I'm sure you've noticed it developing in your spars with your friends. From what I've researched, you've just begun to scratch the surface of your power, he smiled. But it's dangerous for you to begin using it at your age due to the strain it puts on your body, so you need to develop your body to handle the strain. Until then, become strong, Naruto. Naruto nodded firmly. Thank you too, San, I will, Naruto smiled brightly. Look what I got you, Jiraiya handed Naruto 2 scrolls. One contains my most famous techniques. The other one has my world-renowned Fuinjutsu techniques. Naruto smiled as his grandfather struck a pose. Thank you, Aji-san, he chuckled. Naruto-kun, I got you a gift that saw me go through the first great ninja war. Sarutobi pulled out 2 black gloves from his robe. These gloves are infused with chakra and will increase the strength of your strikes. I know how much you love taijutsu. They also have other properties, but I'll let you figure those out for yourself. He smiled at his grandson and handed him the black gloves. Thank you, Gigi. I'll take care of them, I promise. He put the gloves on his lap. And Nissan, Naruto looked at his little brother as he pulled his shirt. Yeah? He asked. Ren ran into the kitchen and quickly scurried back in front of his brother. And me and Carrie-chan made you do this. Carrie watched her older brother hold out the card with Naruto's face fully stretched. Carrie gripped her eldest brother's pants. You both made this for me? He asked with a smile. Carrie nodded and Ren blushed. The color of his face rivaled his hair. Naruto gently took the blue piece of cardboard out of Ren's hand. The front of the card had Nissan written on it with gold glitter. Naruto smiled as he opened the card and read out loud the writing on the first page. It was written in glitter pen as well. Dear Nissan, you're awesome and do your best. Love, Ren and Carrie, Naruto chuckled. On the other side of the card was a drawing in glitter pen. 3 figures, each a different color, stood hand in hand. The tallest one, written in orange glitter pen, held his stick hands out with 3 fingers to the 2 smaller figures either side. On the right was a figure in red and on the left a smaller figure in purple. Do you like it? Asked Rin. I can do another one if you don't. Naruto pulled Rin in for a hug. His other one wrapped around his younger sister. I am going to do my best, thank you both so much. Naruto kissed Carrie's head as Rin sat down. I guess I'm last, Tsunade smiled. Close your eyes, said Suwanda. Naruto closed his eyes. He awaited what Suwanda had given him. Naruto felt a small weight around his neck. His new forehead protector loosened and fell into her hands. Suwanda kissed Naruto's forehead. It's your dream to become Hokage, isn't Naruto-chan? Naruto opened his eyes. This necklace was your great-great-grandfather's, the first Hokage. I'm betting on you that you'll become the greatest Hokage. Naruto looked down at the crystal necklace around his neck. Ba-chan, he said in shock. Hey, I believe in you. So does everyone else. We all know that you're going to be great and make us all proud. Swan hugged him and tied his forehead protector tightly around his head. Okay. Let's eat, cheered Kushina. Naruto awoke to the smell of pancakes, his favorite breakfast. Today's the day, he jumped out of bed. The first Hokage's necklace sparkled around his neck. He got dressed in his shinobi attire, which consisted of a mesh undershirt and a white undershirt. He also sported an open short-sleeved white jacket that stopped at his hips. He also wore black shinobi pants and black open-toed shoes with the heels visible. All right, and I can finally wear this. He tied the forehead protector around his forehead. Today's the day, he cheered as he raced downstairs. Good morning, sweetheart, said Kushina as Naruto sat down at the kitchen table. Your brother and sister aren't up yet, so you get extra. She handed him the plate and a glass of orange juice. He quickly ate it and sat there with his orange juice. Good luck, Minato came up behind him with a smile. He was dressed in his shinobi attire with his Hokage robes on top. Minato then kissed Kushina on the cheek. Have a good day, sweetheart, said Minato. You too, darling, said Kushina as she pecked him on the lips. The childish side of Naruto wanted to shout out that his parents' affection from one another was gross. He bit his tongue and refrained from such a childish act, but he was extremely tempted to make barfing noises. You better get going, Naruto-chan, said Kushina. Naruto nodded and drank the last of his orange juice. Okay, I'm ready, see you guys later, he waved and ran out the door. Minato-kun, they grow up too fast, commented Kushina as she watched her firstborn run off. Well, it can't be helped, he chuckled as he brought an arm around his wife's arm. It seems only yesterday that he begged me to read him books on chakra, and when we used to go for walks in the park together, and he would ask for ramen and ice cream, some tears cascaded down her face. He chuckled again. It isn't funny, she turned around and crossed her arms. Ah, Kushina-chan, he wrapped his arms around her. They have to all grow up sometime. They can't stay babies forever, he smiled and kissed her on the cheek. I guess, but I don't have to like it, you know, she said with a sigh. That's all right, I'll be home for lunch. He walked out the door waving goodbye with a cheerful smile. Bye, she gave him a wave goodbye. Naruto smiled as he walked with his hands behind his neck. In the forest the birds chirped happily. When he arrived at training ground 10, Yugao and Itachi were already present. Itachi was meditating under a tree and Yugao practiced her katas, their new forehead protectors glistening in the sun. Hi Naruto, said Yugao with a smile. Morning Yugao, hi Itachi, he said to his friends cheerily. Good morning, said Itachi politely. He opened his eyes to reveal his Sharingan. Well, you're all here. Rin appeared in front of them with a smile. Must you always do that, Rin-sensei? Asked Naruto. Short answer. Yes, very much so, she chirped. What's the mission, sensei? Asked Yugao. Well, your mission is these. Rin held out 2 bells attached together with a red string. What exactly do we need to do with those bells? Asked Itachi. You have to take them from me, she said with a smile. But there's only 2 of them, commented Naruto. You're right, which means that only 2 of you will pass, the other will hand me their forehead protector, and he or she will be sent back to the academy in disgrace, she said seriously. Naruto's eyes widened. Do you like it? Asked Rin. I can do another one if you don't, Naruto pulled Rin in for a hug. His other one wrapped around his younger sister. I am going to do my best, thank you both so much, Naruto kissed Carrie's head as Rin sat down. I can't lose this now, I've just gotta wait. If one of us is sent back to the academy then, none of us will be made genin. There aren't any others who graduated at the time we did. Konoha's genin teams operate in 3-man cells with the Jonin sensei, which means there's a catch, but what? Wondered Naruto as he narrowed his eyes. She pulled out a small alarm clock from her back pocket. She pushed the button on top of the clock and placed it on top of a rock. She smiled sweetly at them, she then suddenly turned serious. It's set to noon, the student who is weakest in my eyes won't get lunch. Unless of course 2 of you get the bells, then the one that hasn't got a bell will fail automatically. She narrowed her eyes as the 3 students tensed. Come at me with the intent to kill, or you won't be able to take anything, she said as she tied the bells to her belt. The test begins at 5-4, Itachi's Sharingan spun clockwise. 3-2, Yugao put her hand on her holster at the side of her leg. 1, Naruto tightened his gloves around his hands. Begin! The 3 genin scattered around the training. Well, they suppressed their chakra very well, she observed. Yugao hid behind a tree. Naruto and Itachi were stationed at opposite ends of the field in the forest canopy. Yugao and Naruto tensed simultaneously. They were both pulled into a mindscape. Genjutsu, said Naruto as Yugao appeared next to him, and then Itachi. You casted a genjutsu on me when I said hello, he chuckled. What for? He asked. The both of you realize that this test is more than it seems. We're Team 7 now, there's no way she'd declare us a team and then disband us, said Itachi. Also, there's no way that newly graduated academy students would be able to defeat a seasoned jonin, said Yugao. Bells aside, what do you think she's really testing? Asked Naruto. Well, I believe what Yugao said was true, there's no way that we could defeat her, so beating her is out of the equation. There's only 2 bells, so they're really inconsequential in the grand scheme of things, said Itachi with a curious look. Then what's our objective? Wondered Yugao. She's testing our teamwork. Naruto clicked his gloved fingers. If there are only 2 bells, then that's surely to discourage teamwork. But if we ignore the bells and work together, then we'll pass. He punched his open palm. Itachi and Naruto looked at each other. Katan combo? Asked Itachi. Yup, said Naruto. Yugao, back us up with some Doton Jutsu, said Naruto. Yugao nodded. Okay, let's go, yelled Naruto as Itachi released them from the genjutsu. Itachi and Naruto quickly went through some hand signs. The pair of them threw multiple shuriken through the tree canopy. They both covered them with fire. Rin was surrounded on each end. She sweat dropped. They all figured out the purpose of this test so fast. I knew these kids would be little monsters, but even our team didn't figure out the purpose of this test until after lunch. She giggled in excitement and rubbed the back of her head. She looked down to see 2 hands grab her ankles. Doton Shinjuzanshu no Jutsu, she smiled. Good teamwork. She disappeared in a burst of speed and Yugao tunneled underground. The field was bombarded with flaming shuriken. Rin landed on the other side of the field. Naruto took her back and went to strike her with a right punch. Without looking, she caught it. That punch had some power, she thought, analyzing his skills. Chakra-infused kunai hurtled toward the 2. It's just a clone, she thought as he gracefully vaulted the clone, allowing it to take the hit. The real Naruto appeared above her. He flipped backward and attempted to kick her. She caught his foot and channeled wind chakra to his foot, propelling his body forward. Naruto reached out and touched the bells. Not bad, he thought as she away. She can use the Shushin in battle, that's insane, he thought as he flipped backward to his teammates. Can you sense her? Asked Itachi. Yugao made the ram sign and closed her eyes. Behind that rock, she whispered. Itachi threw shuriken at the rock, ninja wire attached to them. They wrapped around the rock swiftly. He went through some hand signs. Katan, Kane Senpu, he exclaimed as a whirlwind of the flames erupted from his mouth and traveled up the wire. The rock was incinerated on contact. Well, trying to set your Jounin sensei on fire isn't very nice, she appeared behind them. You weren't even courteous enough to let me warm up, she giggled. She never threw a strike at me. She's toying with us, but it doesn't matter, we aren't trying to beat her. Just prove to her that we can work together, thought Naruto as Rin went through some hand signs. Suetun, Sujin Hiki, she blew out a torrent of water, and the 3 genin were sent flying in different directions. Yugao rolled through the brush. When she stopped, she quickly took a position behind the tree painting. She separated us, she thought with a sigh. If I eat a little something now, then maybe I can get the jump on her while she's eating lunch, she thought as she pulled out some packaged crackers. She munched on them quietly so nobody would hear. Well, insubordination, Rin smiled from above Yugao. She sat on a branch with one leg hanging over the ledge. It wasn't a rule, you didn't say anything about when we had to eat lunch, she protested. You're right, but I am in charge and I make the rules. What makes you any more special than those other 2? Asked Rin. Well, I'm not, she said. Right, and if my rules apply to everyone, then that means you all have to follow them, correct? Asked Rin. Right, she said. Good, then we have an understanding. She clapped her hands together. This is ridiculous, yelled Yugao, who was tied to a post. Her stomach growled in protest at being empty. She blushed and Naruto chuckled softly. This isn't funny, Namikaze. I'm being punished for breaking a rule I didn't know existed, she growled. Right, but it does exist and now. I'm off to enjoy lunch, see ya in an hour, she teleported away. She's so strong, said Naruto as he took a bite out of his bento. Yeah, no kidding, she's more than worthy of her rank as a jonin, She isn't even trying, Itachi sighed. Yugao's stomach growled. Damn it, said Yugao in embarrassment. Naruto chuckled again. This isn't funny, she yelled. Here, said Itachi as he held his bento up to her. What, I can't eat, it's against the rules, she said. True, but Naruto held out his own lunch. We're a team now, that means that we can't afford to have you going hungry if we can help it, he smiled. A ring of fire appeared around them. How dare you! Rin appeared in front of them, her face like thunder. Sensei. Rin squirmed frantically against the rope around her. I just have one thing to say to you all. You all. Pass, the ring of fire disappeared. The three genin, shocked at the display of power, waited for her to explain. It's true that you broke the rules, and sure, those in the ninja who break the rules are scum. That much is true. But those who abandon their friends are worse than scum, she explained. You all did great. You grasped the concept of the test very quickly. You cornered me extremely well. We'll make a wonderful team. Congratulations. What do you say, we all go out to dinner to celebrate? She offered. All right. Hailed Naruto, making his two teammates cheer and smile. Chapter 8. C rank. All right, Loud Purple, are you in position? This is Sexy Sensei. Do you read? Over? A growl was heard on the intercom. Yes, this is Loud Purple. I'm in position, she replied. Good, now Broody Red Eyes, do you read? Are you bringing up the rear? Asked Sexy Sensei. An uncomfortable cough could be heard over the radios. Why, yes, I'm where I'm supposed to be, he coughed again. Now Girly Blonde, are you above the target? She asked. Yes, this is Girly Blonde, he said begrudgingly. I'm above the target, Sexy Sensei, he sighed. Good, she chirped. On my signal, move in and restrain the target, she ordered. The target stalked an empty walkway next to a picket fence. Now move in, she ordered. The three genin moved in toward the target. Got you! Quit squirming, you! Rin jumped down to see her students. She giggled when she watched Naruto hold their target up in the air. Their target was that daimyo's wife's cat. The cat in question was called Tora. He had plagued genin teams in Konoha for a few years now. Team 7 was no different, as Naruto was now learning. The cat clawed at him violently. Put him in the cage and let's report in, she said. As Yugao held the cage, Naruto and Itachi struggled to put the cat in the container. This is ridiculous, just throw it in there and let's go, yelled Yugao. We can't just throw the cat in there, said Naruto as the cat struggled. Hold it up, I'll hypnotize it. Naruto held up the cat to Itachi. His Sharingan appeared and spun anti-clockwise. The cat looked into his eyes and it calmed down, jumped out of Naruto's arms and walked into the cage. Yugao closed the door with a smile. Now was that so hard? Asked Rin. The three rookie genin groaned, and all fell backward. Team 7 reporting from another D-rank mission, said Rin cheerily. So I take it the mission was a success, said Minato as he sat down next to the other mission managers of the Leaf. The three genin grumbled incoherently. Naruto put the cat carrier on the desk with a tired look. Well, looky here, Tora-chan, nice of you to join us again, said Minato with a smile. The cat meowed happily as Minato let him out of the cage. The three genin tensed. Hokage-sama, you have no idea how long it took us to catch that thing, said Itachi. Don't worry, Itachi, Tora's a friendly cat, said Minato as he rubbed the cat's back. Tora purred affectionately. That person actually likes someone? Asked Yugao. We've gotten to know each other over the years, he chuckled. If that's true, then he must escape regularly. Why does he run away? Asked Naruto. Well. Minato trailed off when he heard the cooing of a loud woman outside the door. Oh! Snookums! The door burst open, revealing a plump woman. She wore a red dress, high-heeled shoes, a ring on every finger, and gold necklaces around her neck. She also carried around an expensive handbag. Tora-chan! I'm so glad you're safe, with speeds that would make the yellow flash envious. The daimyo's wife whisked Tora up into her arms. The cat struggled frantically, trying to free himself from the vice grip. The daimyo's wife just smiled and handed Minato a roll of money. Naruto smirked at the cat's struggle. Serves you right, he thought. Pleasure doing business, Minato-kun, said the wife as she walked out with her cat in tow. That's how it is, you use Tora as a cash cow, said Naruto. Yup, said his father as he counted the money. I've got to admit that's pretty clever, said Yugao. Well, Team 7, said Minato as he put down the money. He held up a stack of D-rank missions. You can paint a fence, walk a few dogs, maybe weed a garden or two. He couldn't help but smile at the banal tasks. Actually, Hokage-sama, spoke Rin, making the Hokage look up. Yes, Rin-chan, he asked. I believe that my team is ready for a C-rank mission, she spoke with confidence, making the genin smile. Oh, are you sure about that? Asked Chunin. 100%, they may be young but they are competent and reliable shinobi, she assured. Very well, Minato changed piles and rummaged through the latest C-rank missions. This one came in yesterday and I believe it is of great importance, an escort mission. He tossed the mission brief to Rin, who began reading over it. That's interesting, I'll brief my team later. We accept, Hokage-sama, said Rin with a bow. Good, the clients will be waiting for you in the port town mentioned in the Land of Waterfalls, said Minato. From there you will be headed to the location in that brief, said Minato. Rin nodded. This mission will be about 3 weeks, so remember to pack, oh and pack warm, said Minato with a smirk. You're letting him go on a C-rank mission so soon? He's only been a genin for a month, shouted Kushina. The Namikaze household was never quite as Karen would soon learn. She watched the one-sided argument unfold from the couch. She was attempting to finish her homework and had asked Minato for help. He was happy to help her, but Kushina burst through the door, having heard from Mikoto that Naruto's team will be going on a C-rank mission. What's going on? Asked Naruto as he jumped over the couch and sat next to Karen. He was in his casual clothes rather than his ninja attire. He also didn't wear his hishiate. Oh, Naruto, when did you get home? Asked Karen. About half an hour ago. It seems like you beat me home. Lucky you, he chuckled. I wouldn't get so cocky. They're arguing about you. Naruto looked perplexed. Naruto Riku Namikaze. Naruto jumped back. He knew his mother was angry because she didn't address him with the chan suffix, and she used his full name. Your middle name is Riku? Asked Karen. Why yeah, said a scared Naruto as his mother marched over to him. Do you mean to tell me that only after a month of being a genin you're going to be going on a dangerous C-rank mission? She asked as she grabbed his son's shirt and pulled him toward her. He nodded rapidly. She sighed and gently let go and brushed out the creases in his shirt. I know you're a genius, Naruto-chan, but your progression is so fast. You're only 8 years old, almost 9, and you're already going out on missions. You could get hurt, or worse, she fretted. I won't, he said cheerily. And how could you know something like that? Asked Kushina. Because I have comrades who I trust with my life without question, she smiled. You're so much like your father. It's amazing, she giggled and moved away. Hi and I-san, said Ren as he walked into the room and sat on an opposing couch. Hi, said Naruto with a smile. What you doing? He asked. Nothing, oh Karen, the answer is 322, said Naruto as he jumped over the couch, avoiding a swipe from Karen. How arg, I hate how he's smarter than me, she shrieked. Ni-san isn't that smart, I'm way smarter than him, said Ren. Your 3 and your bark is a lot bigger than your bite, she said as she turned the page. What's that mean? He asked. Point taken, she adjusted her glasses. No way, he protested. The next morning. 5 a.m. Team 7 stood with backpacks on ready. They were all clad in their shinobi attire. The only change was that Naruto's jacket now sported the Namikaze crest on the back. Why do we have to get up so early? Asked Yuga with a yawn. Because Hokage-sama ordered us to. Plus daylight is important, so let's head out, said Rin. Where are we going? Asked Naruto. To the land of snow, said Rin as they walked through Konoha's front gate. Izumo and Kotisa waved to them. They all waved back cheerily. Is that the rationale behind asking us to pack for a cold climate? Asked Itachi. Yeah, that's right, she chirped. You said you've been to the land of snow before. What's it like? Asked Yugao. Well, there's no spring there, so it's cold all year round. You're likely to meet all kinds of people from different lands as trade is big. As their cold weather prevents most vegetables from growing there, explained Rin. Also, it's under monarchy, although I'm unsure of who the ruler is at this present time, she said as they continued to walk down the forest track. Naruto adjusted the strap around his waist and chuckled. What's funny? Asked Itachi. Aren't you excited? He asked with a broad smile. Itachi smiled. I guess I am, although we must exercise caution, he said. Would you lighten up once in a while, sheesh, said Yugao with a smile. Now, Yugao, Itachi's right. If we don't exercise caution, we might run into unnecessary trouble, said Rin with a smile. But if you don't enjoy what you do, then what's the point, said Naruto with a small chuckle. This is very true, kiddo. But I think you'd enjoy being a ninja if you were alive, said Rin. You're right, I would, agreed Naruto. 1 week later. Team 7 had made it to the border of Takigakure 2 days ago. The climate was slightly cooler than that of the Land of Fires. The sun rose over the small camp that Team 7 had made in the forest. The sun is just barely showing itself over the mountains in the background. Sensei, we could have gotten to the border a few days ago if we would have been running, said Yugao. That's true, said Rin as she emerged from her sleeping bag and stretched out the kinks in her neck. But you need to learn how to be patient. And besides, kiddo, we aren't scheduled to be in Azulong town in about a half a day. We have plenty of time to kill, said Rin. We could have made it to Azulong town and slept in a hotel, yelled Yugao. Well, consider this a lesson, kiddo. On covert missions you won't see any sign of civilization normally unless it's an infiltration or an assassination mission. The more you sleep outside, the more you're going to get used to it. Besides, I don't hear Naruto or Itachi complaining, said Rin with a shrug as she pointed to the sleeping forms behind Yugao. Both boys were wrapped up warmly in their sleeping bags, both blissfully unaware of their teammates' stress and sore back. Yugao growled and ran through some hand signs. Suetun, Yotsuba, she spat small amounts of water at both the boys' faces. Both boys immediately thought that they were drowning and began sputtering and choking. Rin laughed as both boys breathed heavily. What's the matter with you, no sleep? Coughed Naruto. That was uncalled for, said Itachi as he sighed and rubbed his eyes. I thought it was funny, giggled Rin. Now you're up, come on, get dressed, I'll meet our client in a few hours, said Rin as she tied her hair up. Naruto stretched out and yawned. Great night's sleep, he said. I'd have to agree, Itachi cracked his neck. You don't look so good there, Yugao, said Naruto with concern in his voice. Did you get sick? He asked. I'm perfectly fine, I'm lucky Moron isn't contagious, she growled as she stormed off into the forest. What's her problem? Asked Naruto. Well, Naruto-kun, started Rin. You'll never understand, so don't bother, giggled Rin as she put on her flak jacket. I'm unsure of what exactly I have to understand, he rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. A paper bomb explosion went off in the direction Yugao walked in. Boys! She yelled as she took off in the direction of the explosion. Both genin followed their sensei to a clearing in the forest. Yugao back-flipped to avoid a flurry of kunai. 3 bandits ambushed Yugao when she had arrived in the clearing to wash her face. The trio was dressed in tattered clothing and shinobi boots. The 3 bandits had a slash running across the waterfall symbol. The trio charged forward at Yugao, who stood defensively with a kunai in hand. Give us your money, little girl, yelled the leader of the small group. Rinshu shined in front of Yugao. She delivered a swift kick to the middle bandit. One bandit flipped away whilst the other changed his target and attempted to strike Rin from behind. She smiled when she felt the wind pick up. A loud clang erupted from metal hitting metal. Naruto's tanto blocked the kunai strike with the flat side. Itachi appeared behind the other bandit and kicked his knee, making him fall to the ground in pain. He then knocked him out with a punch to the cranium. Naruto ducked a second strike from the bandit and punched him in the stomach, whining him. A light purple blur rushed past Naruto and delivered another kick to the bandit's genitalia. The bandit winced and screamed loudly. Naruto winced. Although the action defused a potentially life-threatening situation, Naruto couldn't help but feel sorry for the bandit. He winced as he clutched himself. That's not right, said Naruto as he shook his head. The bandit suddenly disappeared in a burst of smoke. I let my guard down. Naruto's eyes widened as he felt a presence behind him. He jumped out of the way to avoid a kunai slash. The bandit charged at him with a battle cry. Rin stepped in and grabbed the bandit's hand. She quickly disarmed him. She spun the kunai to a reverse grip and stabbed the bandit in the stomach. Naruto looked shocked as blood splashed on his arm. Rin then proceeded to tie up the bandits, with rope, leaving them in the clearing. She kicked the duo over. She was rewarded with groans of displeasure and discomfort. Please, we're just lowly bandits. Don't kill us too, they pleaded. Nobody else needs to die, she said. Go somewhere else, make an honest living and give up this life, she said in a tone that the genin hadn't heard before. Later that day, the genin team entered the port town of Azulong with mixed emotions. They had just had their first encounter with an enemy ninja and experienced death for the first time. It wasn't a common sight for a group of 8-year-olds to come into contact with, but such is the life of a ninja. Are you all right? Asked Rin. I'm fine, sensei, said Yugao. That's not what I meant. I've already checked you all over for injuries, said Rin. I guess I'm shocked, said Itachi. This is a reality that all shinobi must come to grips with. We carry out the act of murder when needed, some are twisted, and do it for fun. If you can't deal with this reality, then we might as well go home now, she explained as they walked through the crowd. It's not death I'm afraid of, said Yugao. It's being the cause of someone else's. She looked down at her shoes. I know all that comes with being a shinobi, and death is something we'll come into contact with. The best thing we can do is just accept it, said Naruto as he rubbed his arm, the spot in which the blood had landed on. It gets easier, trust me. She turned around, surprising all of them. Okay, we have to meet our client in an hour or so, said Rin. I'm going to track them down. I'll send a clone to come and get you all. Stick together and stay out of trouble, she instructed as she away. How did she get so good at that? Said Naruto as he shielded his eyes from the wind. Well, anyway, what should we do now? Asked Yugao. I hear there's a ramen stand that specializes in all types of fish-like ramen, said enthusiastically. I could eat, shrugged Itachi. They looked at Yugao. Ah, damn it, peer pressure. All right, she sighed. Lead the way, she said with a smile. Oh yeah, exclaimed Naruto. I think the restaurant district is up ahead, he chuckled with glee. 1 hour later. Oh man, that ramen was so good, said Naruto as he rubbed his stomach. It was okay, fish really isn't my thing, commented Yugao. Itachi smiled happily. The trio walked through the streets. Do you think you'd be able to do it? Voiced Yugao, changing the subject. Do what? Asked Naruto. Kill someone, she said. Naruto chuckled. What? She asked. You worry too much, you know, he shrugged. How can you be so calm? She asked. Because I know without a doubt, if someone threatens my friends, I wouldn't hesitate. We may only be 8 years old, but we signed up to be ninjas, said Naruto with a smile. Itachi smiled. Do you feel reassured now? Asked Itachi with a smile. I guess so, said Yugao. Cheer up, don't look so down, you gotta look positive. The squad of genin jumped out of the way as a young woman riding a horse at top speeds barreled past them. Moments later, a group of samurai clad in armor raced after her. The genin looked at each other. Isn't that Princess Gale, from the film? Asked Yugao. Yeah, it is. The pair of them looked at the spot where their friend used to be. He can't help himself, yelled Yugao. Itachi just chuckled and the two followed after them. The princess raced through the streets with the group of samurai on horseback. One samurai changed direction down an alleyway. Naruto raced after her from above as he gracefully flipped over the numerous advertisements. The princess took a turn and was met with a samurai. The warrior attempted to throw a net at her. Kunai flew from above, slashing the net. The last kunai had a smoke bomb attached to it. The princess took her chance and raced off through the smoke. Naruto then jumped down and knocked out the samurai with a kick to the head. Never fear, Princess Gale, I vow to protect you, he shouted proudly as he left behind the group of coughing samurai. Another group rushed past them. Princess Gale rounded a corner and jumped over some lone boxes. She came to a small flight of stairs. Her horse jumped down on them swiftly. Stop her, quickly, ordered the only horseman dressed in normal attire. He wore glasses and sported a ponytail. The samurai threw rounded bottles of oil down in front of the horse. The horse skidded along the ground. Princess Gale skidded across the pavement as the samurai jumped from their horses and onto her. The princess fought her way to the top only to be Yugao. A henge, said one of the samurai. Itachi appeared behind the man with the glasses. He knocked him out with a chop to the neck. He tumbled down to the ground. The samurai all ran off. Yugao quickly went through some hand signs. She made the snake sign, bringing her hands together. Doton, Retsudo Tenzo, the earth split into sections, trapping the samurai in the small openings in the ground. Itachi couldn't help but chuckle. A loud sigh could be heard from above them as Rin sat down on a pole overlooking the trapped samurai. Typical, what do you both think you're doing? Asked Rin with an amused look. She disappeared and reappeared next to the man sporting the glasses. I'm so sorry about this. This is the client that hired us from the land of snow, she giggled nervously. Not a good first impression, she commented. Chapter 9. Protect the Princess. So you're a famous actress, huh? Asked Naruto as he and Princess Gale walked through the streets of Azulong Town. Yes, now quit following me, you little twerp, she growled in distress as she marched ahead. For a princess you aren't very pleasant, you know, said Naruto with a sigh. What's it to you, now leave me alone, she sprinted off. Sheesh, you know what they say about never meeting your heroes, he rubbed the back of his head and turned around in the other direction. She's nothing like the characters she portrays in the movies, he walked away with a sigh. Our mission is to escort Yuki Fujikaze, the actress best known for her role as Princess Gale, to the Land of Snow, explained Rin. Team 7 and the director sat in front of a large poster of the latest Princess Gale movie. The movie set was bustling with activity as the production team and actors moved around and chatted constantly. The next Princess Gale movie is going to be shot abroad, which we're all really excited about, said the director's assistant. It seems a farce to go to such lengths for a few film scenes, commented Itachi stoically. I really like the movie, ignore him, he often gets up on the wrong side of the bed, said Yugao with a chuckle. Rin giggled and put her hands on their heads. Your lead actress is a bit of a renegade if you asked me, she said. So sorry about that, ma'am, said Yuki's assistant. I'll tell you what though, you leaf ninja are something else. Taking out those stunt men, those were some pretty big guys, he chuckled. Oh well, thank you, said Rin. You didn't do anything, yelled Yugao. I did train you, she laughed. Not for very long, said Yugao. That location must be in the Land of Snow? Asked Itachi, pointing to the location on the back of the poster. That's the Rainbow Glacier, it's where we're going to shoot the trilogy's big climatic ending, shouted the energetic assistant director. Yuki's personal assistant, Sandeu, recommended it, said the director's assistant. Sandeu was of medium build, he had short gray hair with a beard and mustache along with small black eyes. For the most part, he also wore small glasses, and a baby blue long-sleeved shirt with a navy blue blazer on top. Where's Naruto? Asked Yugao. He hasn't come back since we chased those bodyguards, said Itachi. Oh, he'll be along, said Rin nonchalantly. What if he's missing? Asked Yugao. He'll be fine, have some faith in your teammates, Yugao, they might surprise you. Even though boys all have tiny brains, she giggled. Yugao joined her. Itachi shook his head. Yuki downed another shot, her mood reflected the atmosphere of the bar that she sat at. The air was thick with the smell of smoke and alcohol. Not much conversation occurred during this hour, people either came to drown their sorrows or spend their money. Yuki poured herself another drink. Hey sweetheart, you looking for a good time? Yuki was caught off guard when a man of large stature put his hand on her shoulder. His breath was laced with alcohol. He had an unkempt beard, which had some nutshells from the bar tangled in the mess. He wore a tank top showing off his hairy gray chest. He wore black boots, which matched his black shorts. Me have sex with you, she let out a bitter laugh. Not in a million years, now piss off, I'm trying to drink, she dismissed him, brushing his hand off her shoulder. Ah, come on, he chuckled. You don't know what you're missing out on, he exclaimed. Please, I'd sooner hurl myself off a cliff, she downed another shot. Okay. Then I'm not asking any more, you're coming with me, he laughed. I don't think so, she said, chuckling. Listen, you. A swift chop to the neck knocked the large man down to the ground. Naruto appeared behind the man with a scowl on his face. So this is what you do in your spare time, wallow in the miserable life that comes with being a movie star. You're a bit sad if you asked me, said Naruto. Look, brat, I told you to stop following me, she slurred. No, you look, because you're acting like the brat now, he crossed his arm. I can tell you've already had enough sake, and it took me a few hours to find you because I don't know this town very well. I'll take you someplace safe where you can sleep this off if you want, he offered, holding out his gloved hand. She pushed his hand away, but in the process her seat fell out from under her. Naruto caught her with an impatient expression on his face. Are you finished? He asked. Shut up, kid, she fought. I can't believe you stalked me, she yelled. Naruto blushed in embarrassment. I didn't stalk you, I just wanted to make sure you were okay, he insisted. She let out a snort of annoyance. That's quite enough now, a feminine voice spoke from behind them. Rin-sensei, said Naruto as the rest of Team 7, plus Sandei, stood behind them. So this is where you ran off to, Naruto-kun, said Rin with a smile. Rin looked at the scene in front of her. I see you've met our princess here, said Rin. She got a sigh from Naruto and a nod. Sandayu. The hell do you want? She asked, holding on to Naruto. Well, he cleared his throat. We're leaving for the land of snow, she let out a bitter chuckle. Well, I'm not going, seeing as I'm quitting the movie thing, she sighed as Naruto helped her back onto the bar stool, which Itachi put back up for her. But. It's not a big deal, okay? The lead roles change from sequel to sequel all the time, it's no biggie, she waved them off. Rin made the ram seal and tapped her on the shoulder. Sandayu caught her as she fell to the ground. Well, that's enough of that, good job, Naruto. Naruto looked confused by her words. The air at sea was bitterly cold as they made their way to the land of snow. Team 7 had changed their attire to match the weather. They all wore cloaks over their attire minus Rin. They all wore closed-toed shoes. Naruto wore the scarf that his mother had made him. His normal white jacket was zipped up. Rin wore pants now, having discarded her miniskirt, which were tucked into bandages around her calves. She zipped up her jonin vest and she also wore a yellow scarf and gloves. She also wore a long-sleeved shirt underneath her vest. Itachi wore a long-sleeved top underneath his normal black t-shirt. He also wore black gloves. Yugao similarly wore a long-sleeved top and a scarf. She also sported a purple pair of gloves. I can't believe I have to deal with her for a few more weeks, groaned Naruto as he sat on the deck. Well, it's our mission, so we have no choice, Itachi smiled. Quit complaining, we're out of the village, aren't we, said Yugao with a cheerful expression. Rin appeared from below deck with a cheery smile. Everybody, stop the boat, ordered the director. What is it, sir? We're about to navigate away from this slab of ice, said the director's assistant. We're shooting here, just look at it, it's begging us to film here. Let's disembark, she ordered. The scene before the genin was amazing. It was like they were looking at a different person. Yuki suited her role as Princess Gale perfectly. It's you, Mao, she exclaimed. Never fear, Princess, we'll deal with him, said the warrior next to her. Do you really believe that you're a match for me? He laughed. All of you get back, ordered Rin as she shined in front of the camera. Hey, get out of the shot, yelled the director. A loud explosion rocked the rough terrain. OST, Kyushu. Welcome, friends, to the land of snow. A male snow ninja clad in chakra armor lifted a sheet of white from over the top of himself. The snow ninja was a man of pale tone. He had a thin and bony face and a narrow nose. He has a purple mark below both of his eyes are teal and pupilless. Moreover, his eyebrows are shaped like small thick purple dots. The snow ninja also wears a mask-style forehead protector. He also had long purple hair held in a ponytail running down his back. You, she growled. Well, how nice of you to come back home, Princess Kekkei. Another female ninja stood atop an icy spear with a smirk on her face. The female snow ninja's green eyes sparkled with excitement as she stared down at her prey. She had pink spiky hair that stuck out of two holes at the top of her gray helmet, reminiscent of pigtails. She has small circular dark pink eyebrows. Similar to the ninja that had already shown himself, she wears chakra armor. Princess Kekkei. Rin's eyes then shot to her right as another ninja revealed himself. Coming out of hiding within the frozen wasteland. Humph, you're as good as they say you are, Shunshin no Rin, she clenched her fists. He was a rather large man with a short crop of purple hair and dark eyes. He wore the standard uniform of his team, which consisted of a blue and white outfit with chakra armor. He also had small circular-shaped purple eyebrows. Unlike his counterparts, whose armor was relatively small. He sported a gauntlet on his left arm. I had a feeling that I'd run into you when we came here, she turned to her genin. Naruto, Itachi, Yugao, protect Yukiya, she ordered. She got affirmative nods from all her genin. Fubuki, Mizori, handle the princess. Nadar jumped off the platform followed by his subordinates. Rin shined on an ice pillar, which was adjacent to Nadar's. It's been quite a long time, old friend. I do hope you've not missed me too much. Try not to run again before this gets interesting, he taunted. Didn't I set you on fire one time? She scowled. End theme. The pair of them jumped up the frozen tundra trading blows as they wall ejected each time. Yugao jumped in front of the famous actress with her kunai drawn. Get back to the ship, Yuki, she ordered. Yuki just stood frozen. Princess, yelled Sandayu as he ran for her frantically. In the background, the actors and the film crews scrambled to grab their gear. Naruto ran up to male snow ninja who raced toward him on a snowboard. He thrusted his gauntlet forward at Naruto, whose eyes widened in shock. His movements are so slow, he thought as he vaulted him. He came back around again. Naruto landed on his hands and jumped above the second strike. Naruto threw a shuriken at him. He quickly went through hand signs. Shuriken Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, he called out. The shuriken multiplied, thought the snow ninja. Futon, Ripusho, he brought his hand together. A powerful gust of wind emitted from his hands and increased the speed and rotation of the shuriken. The shuriken bounced off the ninja. It's a chakra barrier, he growled as he landed back on his feet. Hayatan, Tsubame Fubuki, a female snow ninja. Itachi back flipped away from the blizzard. Katan, Hozenka no Jutsu, Itachi quickly went through some hand signs and blew out multiple balls of fire that cancelled out another wave of ice. This kid is good, she thought. She slammed her palm into the ground. Hyro no Jutsu, she called. Pillars of ice formed up out of the ground after Itachi. Itachi quickly went through some hand signs and blew out a ball of fire that destroyed the pillars. The snow ninja slammed her hand into the ground again. The ice acted as a shield for her as the flames passed either side. Keep the cameras rolling even if it kills you, ordered the director as the crew scrambled onto the ship. Show them the resolve of filmmakers, he yelled. You need to go now, Yuki, ordered Yugao. Aye. Come on, princess, we need to go, shouted Sandeya. I don't care if I die, I won't go back to the land of snow, she screamed. You're mine, girl, shouted the ninja with the gauntlet. He raced toward her on his snowboard. Naruto appeared next to him and struck him in the face. It can't be helped, Yugao. Pick her up and get her out of here, he yelled. Yugao nodded and picked up a struggling Yuki. She ran for the ship, followed by Sandeyu. Get out my way, brat, he jumped up and slammed his gauntlet down at Naruto. Naruto jumped out of the way. Hayatan, Shigekiya. He slammed his arm in the ground that created a shockwave that raced toward Naruto. Naruto slipped on the ice. Naruto! Yelled Rin as she flipped away from Nadar. Katan, Guryoka no Jutsu! She called out as a fire dragon appeared above her and raced past Naruto. The attack cancelled out the shockwave in his face. The attack also knocked back the other snow ninja. Are you alright? She asked. Why, yeah, I'm fine. But sensei, their armor. I know, it's chakra armor. It used to be pretty pathetic, she said. So you do remember me, Run? After you defeated me last time, I've undergone some modifications, he laughed as he went through some hand signs. Hayatan, Haryamoko! He called as a giant appeared out of the mountain. Rin grabbed Naruto and shunned away. Where are you going, Rin? We aren't finished yet, he yelled. The female snow ninja held her arm and hand to the ground as two trails of ice pillars sandwiched him between the two. Itachi disappeared from sight. Genjutsu, she said as she was engulfed in a stream of fire. She jumped away. The armor on her back activated, two wings appeared on her back as she glided away. Katan, Hozenka no Jutsu, Itachi shot fire balls at her, and she dodged effortlessly. A small frown appeared on his face. She's pretty good using that armor, he thought. Rin landed a few paces away next to Itachi. You two get everyone out of here, she ordered as the two genin ran off toward the last of the crew. You aren't going anywhere, we haven't finished yet. He went through some hand signs. Hayatan, Ikaku Hakugiai, he called as a giant white whale appeared below them. It ripped apart the ice as it dived back down. Not bad, but not good enough, she called as she quickly went through some hand signs. She held her right arm above her. Daienkai NTI level 1, she said as a moderately sized ball of fire appeared above her. Fire, you're in a field of ice, you aren't going to beat me by cancelling out my, yelled Nadar as he went through some hand signs. Another white whale appeared in the place of the old one. Beat you? I don't need to beat you, she smirked. Shatter! She yelled as the ball of fire burst apart, creating a shockwave that destroyed the white whale. It burst into a shroud of steam. She played me, he chuckled. All the genin and Rin appeared on the ship. Rin turned to Sandeya. You have some serious explaining to do, she crossed her arms. Ah yes, well, I understand, but after we're far away and the princess is safe, Rin nodded and looked over at her genin. Are you three alright? I know this is only your second encounter with a real enemy, she giggled when Naruto sighed and fell backward. I'm alright, but the constant threat of death is something that'll take some time getting used to. I mean, how do you deal with the hatred? Asked Naruto. The other two genin were curious about her answer. Well, Naruto, you've asked two questions. She looked at the slowly disappearing iceberg. A ninja's hate for another ninja is different from a hate a shinobi has for the enemy. The three genin all looked a little confused by her words. If a ninja kills a fellow comrade, we ultimately harbor hatred in our hearts for that enemy ninja. But the hatred you feel for those ninjas is different. They threaten your friends, so you wish to protect what's precious to you. However, in this case, those ninja feel neither of these things for any of you. They are simply hired shinobi, who sell their services for money, those who simply kill for fun. We take the same missions, but rest assured, we're nothing like them. She turned heel and walked back down into the bow of the ship. Itachi sighed. I guess it's something we'll confront head-on, together as Team 7, he stated with a small smile. I like the way you think, Tachi, she slapped him on the shoulder. You're right, the minor details aren't any of our concern, we just look after each other, he said cheerfully. Team 7, chuckled Yugao as she held out her pinky. What does that mean? Asked Itachi. It means that we'll make a promise to protect each other as members of Team 7, she said as she grinned. Alright, said Naruto as he intertwined his finger with Yugao's. They both looked at Itachi, who blushed in embarrassment. Come on, Itachi, Team 7, said Naruto. Yugao smiled at him. Team 7! Yelled Yugao with a beaming smile. Yeah, he joined in as his finger intertwined with both of theirs. Rin smiled from the stairwell down to the bowel of the ship. They're all growing up, she walked back down to. Chapter 10. Heroes do exist. Koki, huh? It's been a few years since I've heard that name, said Rin as she put down a strange key on a wooden desk below the ship. Koiki slept soundly on the bed next to her. For someone so young, to have such a cold heart, Rin eyed her with an emotionless gaze. What a pity, she finished, and she began to walk out of the room. Wait! Koiki yelled. What? Asked Rin as she turned to meet the stoic face of Koiki. Why? Why what? She raised an eyebrow. Why are you taking me to the land of snow? I can pay you double to take me back to the land of fire, she offered, a small hint of hope in her voice. Well, it seems like you aren't a complete lost cause, she chuckled and walked out. Sandai greeted her in the hallway. The ship pulled into dock a moment ago, he explained. Good, she briskly walked past him. Please don't be too harsh on Koiki-sama, she's had a rough life, he insisted. Well, she has. But that's not an excuse to shy away from what she's eventually going to face, she sighed. That's almost reminiscent of the definition of coward. Wouldn't you agree? Samurai? She asked. Sandai looked shocked. How? Did you? Rin had already walked away. A small group sat in the ship's chart room. Team 7, Sandai, and some of the production team sat around a table. So the princess doesn't want to go back home, stated Rin with a sigh. Come on, sensei, you can stop calling her princess, she's only an actress, said Yugao. Actually, Yugo. She really is a princess. Yuki Fujikaze is only an alias, she narrowed her eyes. Her real name is Koiki Kazuhana, heir to the land of snow's throne, she crossed her arms. And the plot thickens, said Itachi with a small smile. This doesn't change a thing, we've come this far, we can complete the mission, said Naruto. Actually it does, she said. At first this mission was a C-rank mission. When low-level ninja became involved it became a B-rank. Now that the daimyo's daughter is involved, this mission has now become A-rank, she chuckled. What are the odds, huh? She sighed with a smile. Normally I'd call for backup, but by the time they arrive, the battle for the land of snow would be over. I guess we're it, she chirped the last bit. That's all we need, Team 7, the cream of the crop. Saves an entire country together, yelled Yugao dramatically. Well, now we've got a movie! Exclaimed the director excitedly. You fools, came a voice from the doorway. You can't defeat Dodo, you're just kids and an old lady, Rin's eyebrow twitched. I'll have you know that I'm 20, she growled. A lot younger than you, she mumbled the last part. Whatever, just give up, there's no room in this world for fools who believe in happy endings, she cocked her head. The strong survive and the weak suffer, that's the way the world works, she chuckled bitterly. You're pathetic, said Naruto. Excuse me, she narrowed her eyes at the young genin. You're pathetic, you heard me, people like you are pathetic, he said simply. Pathetic? Why, you little? She briskly walked over to him, and grabbed him by his white jacket. "Now who's pathetic, you little bastard?" Naruto remained impassive. "You can run pretty well, can't you? Aren't you tired of running?" asked Naruto. "You don't understand just how powerful he is. He killed my father. My brother. He killed every ounce of happiness in my heart, and yet I still can't cry," she yelled. Her hands started to shake. Naruto grabbed her hands with his and moved them away. She didn't protest, looking down at the wooden floor. "Please, princess," said Sandae. "You fooled these people into taking us back to that god-forsaken place," she said bitterly. "I'm finished," she said, defeat as she slumped to the floor. "Happy endings are real, you know," she gasped at his words. "But you have to be willing to fight for them." He got up and walked away. A convoy of trucks prepped for snow trekked down a frozen highway off a cliff face. Koyuki sat on her bed in her own private vehicle. She looked out to the frozen landscape. The cold dug up even colder memories from the past that ceased to go away. The trucks halted in their positions as the crew and director stepped out of the trucks. "Okay, once we're done shooting here, we'll move on to our hideout where..." "Mr. Makino!" yelled the frantic assistant. "What is it, boy?" he asked, annoyed. "It's Yuki, she's up and disappeared again. Like she's totally vanished, sir," he exclaimed. "Wah!" he yelled over him. "Fan out and look for her," ordered Rin as her genin jumped over the trucks and into the wilderness. "Radio in if you find her," she ordered. "Right!" they all exclaimed. Naruto jumped off the cliff, his cloak wisping up in the wind behind him. "For a civilian, she got pretty far," said Naruto. "She runs like a civilian, though." He jumped between a few rocks and then over the frozen trees onto the snow. "What a sight you are!" Koyuki ran for her life. Naruto walked after her. She struggled as she clumsily ran through the snow. "I won't go back to the land of snow!" she yelled. Naruto disappeared in a shunshin and appeared in front of her. She fell backward and glared up at him. "How would you know anything? You're just a naive child, you know nothing of the real world," she yelled in a fit of fury. "TCH, quit whining, would you? You're embarrassing yourself," she smirked. What?" she asked in shock. "Come on, everyone is waiting," she said. She sighed in frustration. Naruto carried Koyuki on his back with a satisfied smile on his face. He walked through the tunnel that they had recently passed through on the icy road. Koyuki had a scowl adorning her face, unhappy at her current state. Being carried by an 8-year-old through a dark tunnel didn't exactly make for a dignified position. All she wanted to do was run away from the land of snow, run away from her title, and run away from destiny. But this brat wouldn't let her. "You're really annoying, you know that, kid?" she asked. "Well, in this case that would be rhetorical, because you obviously find me annoying," he said with a sigh. "Well, it would be if you found yourself annoying, that is," she countered. "Yes. But only to you," he said with a smile. "I suggest you put me down," she said dangerously. "Or what? What exactly are you going to do? Where are you going to go?" he asked. "Well, You can run, but I'll catch you. You can hide and I'll find you," he chuckled at her when she pouted. "Come on, Koyuki, cheer up, you don't have to worry," chirped Naruto. "You're just a kid, you can't promise me anything," she said bitterly. "You think you can come into this country and save it like some hero. Heroes don't exist, brat. Hate to be the one to break the news to you," she scowled. "You're wrong," she said simply. "What was that?" she asked. "I said you're wrong. There are heroes in this world, I'll prove it to you. I may be a kid, but I pick things up quicker than most. I haven't even seen much of this world, but even I can see that heroes exist," he chuckled happily. "Where did you get that line out of? Your bookshelf full of fairy tales," she mocked. Her tone was laced with sarcasm and bitterness. "Actually, my grandfather taught me that," he chuckled. "Your grandfather?" she asked. "Yeah, his name is Jiraiya Namikaze. He's a hero from the Second Great Ninja War. He fought in all kinds of battles and he's taught a lot of things about being a ninja," she cracked a small smile. A real smile, not the fake ones that she used regularly for the camera. "What are you reading, squirting?" asked Jiraiya. A startled Naruto jumped up from his spot on the grassy field. He had been reading a very familiar book for the entire morning, a book close to his father's heart. He had snuck away from the academy so he could read all day. He had papers with seals all around him, all different designs and each of them at different levels. "And nothing. You see, Aji-san, You skipped school, huh? Oh, just what would your mother think?" he chuckled evilly. And no, please don't tell Kachan. It took me forever to convince Itachi to copy my mother's handwriting so I could do this, he said frantically. That's actually quite clever, Naruto. So you've come out here to train. I presume that you also came out to work on your seals. He picked up a piece of paper with a seal on it. What are these? Storage seals? What good will those do you? He asked. Well, I was thinking that well, it's hard if you run out of kunai and shuriken in battle. So if I kept some storage seals on my wrists, then I'd be able to store more, she explained with a bashful expression. Oh, I see, so you modified the speed in which the seal activates by storing a small amount of chakra in them. Kid, that's genius. He patted him on the back. You think so? Naruto blushed and rubbed the back of his head. Ho ho ho, so you were also reading my book, Tales of a Gutsy Ninja. It's not that great. I'd show you some of my other work, but you're a bit too young, he chuckled. The wording is a bit childish and the characters aren't that developed well, but… No way. It's the best thing I've ever read, he yelled with a smile. Really? Well, kid, thank you. Not many people actually liked it. He laughed a little embarrassed at the notion. Oh, come on. The main character's name is Naruto, and he has the coolest sayings and has the coolest jutsu. He chuckled. How he never gives up and always keeps going. That's mighty, you know, said Naruto with passion. Jiraiya laughed. It isn't it, he put his hands on his chin. Well, Naruto, I'll let you in on a little secret. Your father named you after the character in that book, said Jiraiya. He did? Asked Naruto. Yup, and the book is autobiographical. All those things really happened, he laughed with a thumbs up. Wow, really? Wondered Naruto. So you're so sort of a hero? Asked Naruto with stars in his eyes. Yeah, they all happened. Well, I'm not really a hero. I've just been to a lot of places, he chuckled. Oh, Naruto then suddenly smiled. I still think you're a hero, even if Kachan still says that you're just an old perv, said Naruto with a beaming smile. Well, thanks, kid. Listen, how about we go for some ramen? He offered. Awesome, let's go, said Naruto as he began to seal the papers back into the storage seals on the ground. He sounds like a riot, said Koiki. You know, your sarcasm is getting a little dull, he said with a frown. The fact that you're lecturing me at your age is dull, she shouted. I guess that would be annoying, he chuckled. Koiki sighed. A loud whistle ran through the cavern. It reached Naruto's and Koiki's ears and startled the pair of them. What was that? Asked Naruto. A train? Asked Koiki. A train? I thought that Sandei said that there was no train anymore, said Naruto as the lights of the train suddenly appeared. Shortly after, the train roared around the corner aggressively. Oh crap! Exclaimed Naruto as he shot off in the other direction toward the tunnel exit. With the train hot on his heels, Naruto sprinted away from the train. Koiki's hair whipped up behind them. We're done for! She shouted. No, we aren't! Yelled back Naruto. Are you insane? You can't do this, this is impossible, you're just a kid! She yelled. This isn't over, said Naruto. Huh? She asked. And me and Carrie-chan made you do this. Carrie watched her older brother hold out the card with Naruto's face fully stretched. Carrie gripped her eldest brother's pants. You both made this for me? He asked with a smile. Carrie nodded and Rin blushed. The color of his face rivaled his hair. Naruto gently took the blue piece of cardboard out of Rin's hand. The front of the card had Nissan written on it with gold glitter. Naruto smiled as he opened the card and read out loud the writing on the first page. It was written in glitter pen as well. Dear Nissan, you're awesome and do your best. Love, Rin and Carrie, Naruto chuckled. On the other side of the card was a drawing in glitter pen. 3 figures, each a different color, stood hand in hand. The tallest one, written in orange glitter pen, held his stick hands out with 3 fingers to the 2 smaller figures either side. On the right was a figure in red and on the left a smaller figure in purple. Do you like it? Asked Rin. I can do another one if you don't. Naruto pulled Rin in for a hug. His other one wrapped around his younger sister. I am going to do my best, thank you both so much. Naruto kissed Carrie's head as Rin sat down. Stay strong and strike. I have people who believe in me, I won't let them down. I won't give up ever, exclaimed Naruto. He began pulling away from the train as his legs began to move at a faster rate. Koiki was shocked at the sudden burst of speed. The train behind them was probably bordering on full speed, and this 8-year-old boy with his body in its current state was outrunning this mechanical beast. The rocks around Naruto's feet would fly away as he stepped on them, as a strange aura began to surround him. "Come on!" he yelled as he quickened his pace. The exit became visible as he rounded the last corner. He roared as he stepped into the light, and jumped out of the way of the train. End theme. Naruto chuckled as he lay in the snow. It turned into full-blown laughter. "You little fool," she growled. The train stopped in front of them. "Naruto!" exclaimed Itachi. "He found her," said Yugao. A loud squeak echoed through the area, indicating that a microphone was being turned on. "It's been a long time, Princess Kekkei," boomed the voice over the mic. "It's him," she growled as she stood up, followed by Naruto. "It's been what? 10 years, you've grown into a beautiful young woman. Your beauty is certainly reminiscent of your late mother. Too bad you're not as smart as your father. After all, you haven't surrendered to me yet," he finished. "Dodo," she said, shocked. Naruto stepped in front of her with a blank look on his face. Suddenly, myriad large tree trunks rocketed down the hill toward the armored vehicle. They crashed into the train at high speeds. Samurai all lined up around the edges of the cliff with looks of steel adjourning their cold faces. "There you have it, men!" Sandeya stepped forward with his sword drawn. "Our beloved Princess Kekkei has returned," he shouted. The samurai of the Land of Snow shouted approval for their once missing princess. "Charge!" he yelled, and the samurai followed him down the cliff. "Sir, I'll..." started Nadar, but Doto put his hand up, silencing him. "There's only one thing that worms like these understand," he smirked. "Complete and total utter annihilation." He dropped his hand and the outer shell of the train receded, revealing large Gatling guns with Snow Ninja atop each of them. What is he?" asked Itachi. He got his answer as the Snow Ninja began cranking the handles. A barrage of sharpened kunai was flung out of each of the large weapons. The stream of kunai impaled the samurai as they all ran to their deaths. Team 7's eyes widened as they witnessed the mass slaughter. This was what ninja were capable of when push comes to shove. "Why, you pig!" yelled Yugao. "How awful, all those people!" Itachi clenched his jaw as he watched the samurai rush forward only to be mowed down. "This is horrible," Naruto's fist clenched as he watched the smirk on Dog's face appear. You! Doto began to laugh. "You!" Doto's laugh became boisterous as Sandeya fell to the ground. "You animal!" he exclaimed in rage. Doto stopped laughing and turned to the source of the noise. Naruto glared at him. Doto's eyes reflected Naruto's anger. "That boy," he thought. "We're done here, let's go." Doto disappeared back into the train. The train roared to life and sped off along the tracks. "Itachi, where is Rin-sensei?" asked Yugao. "I don't know," said Itachi. His voice was laced with anger as he surveyed the carnage in front of him. "Is this what being a ninja means?" he asked himself. "Sensei!" shouted Yugao as she watched her teacher gently place Sandeya on a wooden board. "Is there anything you can do for him?" asked the director as Yugao stopped behind them. "No, any medic interference now would only prolong their suffering," she said solemnly. He was a noble man. He held firm to his ideals even though he knew that he had no chance. "But I think that all of them must have known that." She surveyed the rest of the samurai. All of them were bloodied, broken and dead. Rin turned around to see her students. All of them had blank looks on their faces. "They shouldn't be exposed to this so young," she said aloud. "Are you finished running yet?" asked Naruto as he came up behind Kekkei. "Don't know." She fell to her knees. "Just go away!" she yelled. "Just go away! Leave, this doesn't concern you. I don't care about the Land of Snow. I don't care about my family, all I care about is living!" she yelled as tears flowed freely from her face. Naruto walked up behind her. "Just go away!" She threw snow at him. "Just go away, I don't want you here. Can't you understand?" She kept throwing snow at him until Naruto put his hand on her head. "Don't you worry, I understand completely," he said with a small chuckle. She sobbed as the sun began to pierce through the clouds. "And Naruto? Please help me?" she asked through sobs. "Of course I'll help you," he yelled proudly. Thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoy it. If you want the next part of this video, turn on that bell notification. Like, subscribe and comment down below. And also check out the others' videos I have created and enjoyed it. See you guys next video. Till that, take care.